discussing with the different themes and modalities of this national education policy that have been integrated in this flagship program by the policymakers. Today we will going to discuss very important and the crucial theme of this flagship program, that is the leadership, governance and the management, with the help of two different experts. First, in the first half of the session, Professor Nazir Ahmed sir will be there, and in the second half, Professor Vithai Rajan will be there. So we will start with the very first session. Sir, first of all, I extend my warm welcome to you to this flagship program, particularly to this session. Friends, today we have with us a very great and scholarly personality, Professor Nazir Ahmed sir. Professor Nazir Ahmed Nazir, who is the professor of the Department of Commerce at University of Kashmir, Srinagar. Over a period of 3 decades of experience, in rich experience in this field of higher education, Professor Nazir was engaged in the teaching as well as the research on the different positions. He was serving as a professor. Before joining the university, he has served as a professor at Jajhar University, situated in the Kingdom of the Saudi Arabia. As far as concerned, he was the former head of the Department of Commerce, and right now he is the director of the Center for Policy and Counseling at the University of Kashmir. He is also the editor of the journal in the Faculty of Commerce and Management, and he is also work as an associate editor in this particular journal. Uh, as far as research concerned, he has a number of research articles published on his credit that has been published in the reputed national as well as the international journal. He has also completed the one major research project funded by the University Grants Commission. So, friends, we are luckily fortunate today. We have with us a very great scholarly and eminent personality to enlighten us on such a huge topic, that is the leadership, governance, and the management. So we are warmly welcome once again, Professor Nazir sir. And now may I request Professor Nazir sir to please start with your session. Sir, please.
Thank you very much. So great of you. Good afternoon to all of you. Yes, we are going to discuss something and interact on a very important topic, that is academic leadership. And I'm really delighted and pleased to share my thoughts in this important platform. And I hope that we will have a very rich learning experience throughout the course of this today's session. And the topic, as you know, is on leadership. And then we have a prefix to it, what we call it as academic leadership. It gives it a different kind of flavor. It gives it a very different kind of an essence and importance as well. We are very much concerned now here, not with any kind of a political leadership scenario or a corporate leadership scenario, but just confined to the academic leadership, which indicates in itself that how important and essential it is to just simply focus on the academics, to focus on the leaders of academia, to focus on the leaders of the higher education institutions. And we know that the term, though has not been coined that recently, it has an origin long ago, but of course it wasn't that much of in use in the academic circles. We would naturally, in the field of commerce, management, psychology, talk about leadership, sociology, political science, and we talk about the political leaders, the corporate leaders, and good number of research articles have been published, books have been published on the leadership theme as such. We know that leadership is all the more relevant and important. But then there is an extension of the same to the academia, to the higher education institutions. Well, once we on one side say that leadership is all the more important in any given organization, is all the more important in any political organization, it's all the more important in any commercial organization, it's equally important for a region, for a nation, for a country as a whole, and naturally at the world level. The relevance and importance of leadership can never be undermined. And then, more importantly, the extension of it to the academia, to the higher education, which indicates that leadership is something that cannot be just confined to only a few organizations, though the we can say the relevance, the importance of the subject matter, the leadership as such is far and wide. And especially, I personally focus on academic institutions, the higher education institutions, where though the concept is a little bit of recent origin. Yeah, somebody is saying that you make a mixture of language, Hindi and English. I will try, of course, to, in the course of session, I will just try to switch over to the Hindi Urdu language as well. The point, therefore, I'm trying to convey is that when it comes to leadership, leadership is something which is not just confined to the political organizations or the commercial ones, but it is more importantly required in the academic institutions. We have been hearing it from the word go, that teachers are the pillars of nation. They are the builders of nation. They build the nations through teaching, learning, the kind of, I can say, improvements, the kind of the way they shape the lives of the masses, a huge number of students who join each year, various schools, various colleges, various universities, and it is the teachers who make them, who shape them, who make them ready for tomorrow's organizations. And these particular students have a very distinctive and a very different kind of a, or a varied kind of a role to play in the society as such. They could be the leaders in commercial organizations, in the corporate world. They could be there in the political organizations, and they have, they could be absorbed anywhere. So naturally, teachers have a very significant role in making and shaping them. And as a result of that, it's all the more necessary the academic leaders, be them the heads of the departments, the deans of the schools, the principals of the colleges, the vice chancellors of the universities, they have to be, I can say, more equipped with the way they should run the affairs of these academic institutions. We know the system, the way it goes is that a person, a teacher should have, for instance, a good amount of research, citations, experience, teaching experience, research experience, and that's what makes him a principal or makes him a vice chancellor. Yeah, of course, in certain cases, for the principal, there are some, we can say, tests also, there are interviews being also held, but by and large, what is not tested is that whether the person has got the leadership potential or not, leadership aptitude or not. If a person does not have the potential for leadership, he is not in a position to run the affairs properly. Naturally, if you just bank upon some of the criteria, the parameters, be it the education level, be it the research as I was talking about, or the teaching experience and so on and so forth, that is not something that will make actually the sense. As a result of that, we normally find in our, I can say, academic institutions, people who are accidental leaders. यानी वो लीडर जो एक्सीडेंट से बने हैं, यानी मतलब ये हुआ कि उनको उनकी एक्सपीरियंस की बुनियाद पे लीडर माना गया है या चुन लिया गया है। वो असल में उनके अंदर वो जो क्वालिटीज होनी चाहिए, जो फीचर्स होने चाहिए, जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होने चाहिए, जो उसके अंदर अनुभव होना चाहिए लीडरशिप का, वो नहीं है। सो इफ अ पर्सन इज ओनली बेस्ड ऑन हिज सीनियरिटी and be based on, for example, his academic credentials, he is only taken as a leader, then it simply means that you cannot have a good fortune for such kinds of organizations. क्योंकि बंदे के पास, इस आदमी के पास लीडरशिप का ऐसा कोई अनुभव नहीं है, कोई जो है एक्सपोजर नहीं है। इसीलिए इसमें कोई हैरानगी की बात नहीं है कि जो ये नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के तहत सेंसिटिव और ओरिएंटेशन, सेंसिटाइजेशन और ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम्स का इनकाद किया गया है, इसमें ये यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट्स कमीशन का, द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हैज गॉट दिस काइंड ऑफ अ प्लान दैट एटलीस्ट 15 लाख वेरियस टीचर्स हैव टू बी ग्रूम्ड फॉर दीज काइंड्स ऑफ प्रोग्राम्स। 15 लाख, यानी जो हमारी फ्यूचर जनरेशन है, स्पेशली द यंगस्टर्स, दो देयर इज नो आई कैन से एज लिमिट कि कोई बंदा जो 50 साल को 55 का वो नहीं होगा, हर एक के लिए है, क्योंकि लीडरशिप रोल आपको अंजाम देना है। इसलिए आपका वो एक्सपोजर होना, लीडरशिप का आता पता होना, ये बहुत ही जरूरी है। ये कितने जरूरी है? जिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के आप प्रिंसिपल होंगे, जिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आप हेड होंगे, डीन होंगे या वाइस चांसलर होंगे, तो आपके पास वो अनुभव और एक्सपीरियंस और एक्सपोजर होना बहुत जरूरी है। एक तो ये है कि नेप सेंसिटाइजेशन और ये जो ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम्स हैं, इसके जरिए से दिस इज हाउ बेसिकली द future leaders are being created with all these different kinds of programs so that they get properly exposed to the requirements of leadership, running the affairs of the organizations effectively and essentially और efficiently। ये तो एक पहलू है। दूसरा ये है कि जो हमारे सिटिंग वाइस चांसलर्स है या इसी तरह से हेड्स हैं, डीन्स हैं, उनके लिए स्पेशल प्रोग्राम स्पेशली फॉर द वाइस चांसलर्स के लिए है, जो यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट्स कमीशन हैज roped in some premier management institutes, बीट IIM अहमदाबाद, इस किस्म के बड़े बड़े और प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूट्स को उन्होंने रोपिन किया है। एंड द होल एक्सपेंडिचर इज borne by the University Grants Commission for providing leadership exposure to the sitting vice chancellors. It basically signifies that how important it is to impart leadership training to the even sitting we can say vice chancellors। यानी अगरचे उनके पास और बाकी अनुभव है और बाकी एक्सपीरियंस है, लेकिन लीडरशिप का एक्सक्लूसिवली अनुभव होना बहुत ही जरूरी है। लिहाजा इस जमाने में आपसे मैं यही कहूंगा कि द वंस हु आर जस्ट इन द इंफेंसी ऑफ देयर करियर्स और who are there to take up any kind of a leadership assignment, be it the principal, the dean of the schools, or maybe sometimes you don't know when such time will come, because time runs like anything. So naturally, having this pre-exposed kind of breed available, who can run the affairs of the academic institutions in future, it's all the more necessary. So having all these different kinds of programs have a very important significance and relevance. So having said all this, we shall be now discussing something about who are leaders, how leaders are actually made, are leaders made or they are born, what are some of the important features and characteristics of leaders, and then in the context of national education policy, why this leadership has become that important। कुछ तो होना चाहिए जिसकी बुनियाद पे हम ये कह सकते हैं कि भाई लीडरशिप जो है आज और ही ज्यादा अहमियत रखती है, इंपॉर्टेंस रखती है। कुछ तो है नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 में, जहां पर हमें वो लोग चाहिए हैं जिनके अंदर उस किस्म का एक्सपोजर होना बहुत जरूरी है, जिसकी वजह से ये नेप प्रोग्राम्स कंडक्ट किए जाते हैं, ताकि जो हमारी बडिंग फ्यूचर जो हमारे लीडर्स होंगे इन एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूशन के, उनके यहाँ पूरा और अच्छा और सही अनुभव हो, एक्सपोजर हो। तो उस लिहाज से ये इंतहाई आम तरीन डायरेक्शन है दैट वी आर हेडिंग टुवर्ड्स। एंड इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट वी शैल बी नोइंग दैट क्या लीडर बनाए जाते हैं, लीडर बने हुए होते हैं, और क्या उनके अंदर अनुभव होना चाहिए, क्या एक्सपोजर होना चाहिए, किस वजह से होना चाहिए, ताकि वो एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस को सही तरीके से चला सकें। Are you hearing me properly?
Yes.
I am audible to you. Shall I speak both languages? English,
Yes.
Hindi? Will that do well?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. तो चूंकि मैं आपके साथ बात कर रहा था लीडरशिप के बारे में ही, तो इसकी अहमियत कितनी है, कितना मतलब कितनी जरूरी है। हम तो रोजमर्रा हमारी जिंदगी है, we have one or the other kind of a leadership role. So it's all the more necessary that we become professionals in it. We try to understand how best we can run the affairs of our organizations. We have a proper, we can say, exposure to leadership. We should not take it for a ride or for granted कि भाई हमें पता है कैसे चलाना है। नहीं, you once you will assume a charge of a headship or a deanship or a principalship or a vice chancellorship, then only you will realize that you have got people from diverse races, backgrounds, aptitude, understanding, and it's not that easy कि उनको चलाना। आपके अंदर उस किस्म का एक एक्सपोजर होना बहुत लाजमी है, सो दैट यू आर इन अ बेटर पोजीशन टू रन द अफेयर्स प्रॉपरली। अब देखो यहाँ पर चार्ल्स टैलियरैंड ये बड़ी जबरदस्त बात कर रहे हैं कि दैट आई एम मोर अफ्रेड ऑफ एन आर्मी ऑफ 100 शीप लेड बाय अ लायन देन एन आर्मी ऑफ 100 लायंस लेड बाय अ शीप। इससे आपको अंदाजा लग सकता है कि अगर 100 आर्मी है वो शीप की है, इन्हें ऐसे they won't be able to do anything, any harm to, or they won't be there to overpower somebody. But then if they are led by a lion, yes, you be afraid of it. It's not that easy. A lion is there who is visionary, who knows how to catch the, we can say, target, कैसे उसको कैच करना है. तो लाइन अगर उनके ऊपर होगा, लीडर होगा, तो ये बहुत डिफरेंस क्रिएट कर सकता है. अब इसी के बरक्स में वो कहता है कि देन एन आर्मी ऑफ 100 लाइन्स लेड बाय शीप. अगर इसके मुकाबले में 100 लाइन्स होंगी लेकिन शीप उधर बैठा होगा, क्योंकि शीप को करना है, लाइन को क्या करना है. लाइन अगर लीडर होगा तो डायरेक्शन देनी है और डायरेक्शन सही होगी, अच्छी होगी. शीप अगर लीडर होगा तो जाहिर सी बात है उसकी जो डायरेक्शन होगी that will not be in tune with the requirements, because sheep would be surely afraid of many things. Basically it's just trying to give it a kind of a different color, that if you have got an army of 100 people, I mean sheep, and if they have got a lion like a leader, possibility is that they can overpower, they can overcome many things. उनके लिए है. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि लीडर का होना बहुत जरूरी है. इसीलिए मैंने किसी के बारे में ये सुना है कि बड़ा एक आदमी है जिसने अपने हिसाब से ये दुआ करी है कि अगर मुझे ये पता होता है कि जो ऊपर वाला है, जो लॉर्ड है, which of my prayers would be accepted by him, I'll accept for only the leader, because the leader who makes and mars the nation, the country, the region, the organization. This also suits her well कि लीडरशिप की, लीडर की बहुत ही जबरदस्त अहमियत है और इंपॉर्टेंस है. अब ये लीडर किसको हम कहते हैं और हाउ कैन वी डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन अ लीडर एंड अ मैनेजर. आपने भी सुना होगा, क्योंकि ऑल ऑफ यू मस्ट नॉट बी फ्रॉम द फील्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, कॉमर्स, सोशियोलॉजी, साइकोलॉजी, लाइक पॉलिटिकल साइंस, जहां पर आए दिन इसके बारे में इसका जिक्र किया जाता है. मोर सो इन कॉमर्स एंड मैनेजमेंट वी टॉक लॉट अबाउट लीडरशिप. अब ये है कि हाउ लीडर्स आर डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द मैनेजर्स. क्या कोई डिफरेंस है, और लीडर कैसे काम करता है और मैनेजर कैसे काम करता है. ये चीज आपके लिए जानना बहुत जरूरी है, ताकि यू डोंट एंड अप एज मैनेजर्स, यू आर एज लीडर्स, because leaders have got some very distinct kind of qualities and approach in running the affairs of the organizations. Apart from being very visionary, they have a very different kind of an approach to running active. ये चीजें उनके अंदर बहुत जबरदस्त होती हैं. अब यहाँ पर हम ये बात करते हैं कि अब सबसे पहले लीडरशिप क्या होता है. हम ये कहते हैं कि लीडरशिप इज गाइडिंग एंड डायरेक्टिंग द बिहेवियर ऑफ पीपल. आप उनका गाइड कर लो, उनको उनका बिहेवियर डायरेक्ट कर लो इन द वर्क एनवायरनमेंट. फॉर्मल लीडरशिप, ऑफिशियली सैंक्शन लीडरशिप बेस्ड ऑन द अथॉरिटी ऑफ अ फॉर्मल पोजीशन. अब ये है, आपने देखा होगा ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं, उनकी एक जाहिर सी बात है फॉर्मल जो है या सैंक्शनड अथॉरिटी होती है. जैसे एक प्रिंसिपल होगा, जैसे किसी उसका डीन होगा, किसी डिपार्टमेंट का हेड होगा, एक सैंक्शन कुछ लिमिटेड और व्हाटएवर, उसके पास एक लीडरशिप रोल होता है, एक ऑफिशियली सैंक्शन अथॉरिटी होती है. उसके बरक्स में कुछ लोग ऐसे भी होते हैं कि अगर उनके पास कोई ऑफिशियल जो है अथॉरिटी नहीं है, बट स्टिल पीपल रेस्पेक्ट देम, लव देम एंड हियर देम. उनकी बातों में आके उनका जो कहते हैं वो मानते हैं. तो ये भी जिसको कहते हैं कि उनके अंदर एक करिश्मा होता है जिसकी दौलत वो काम करते हैं. फॉलोवरशिप इसके बरक्स में है कि वो जो गाइडेंस हासिल करें और जो डायरेक्शन हासिल करें दूसरों से, जबकि लीडरशिप का काम है गाइड करना और डायरेक्ट करना. इसलिए हम नॉर्मली ऐसा करते हैं कि भाई लीडर क्या कहता है, लीडर किस में खुश है, कौन सी चीज को पसंद है, कैसे करना चाहिए. क्यों, हमें ये भरोसा होता है कि इसके पास एक विजन है, एक फ्रेमवर्क है, उसको पता है कि कैसे आगे जाना है. हाँ, आजकल के दौर में कॉन्सेप्ट थोड़ा डिफरेंट है. आज हम कहते हैं कि भाई वो जो कॉन्सेप्ट था कमांड एंड कंट्रोल का, या एक ही जगह एक बंदा होगा जिसके पास लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज हैं या जो भी है वही सब कुछ चलाएगा, नहीं. आज कॉन्सेप्ट आ रहा है शेयर्ड लीडरशिप. एवरीथिंग हैज नॉट टू बी कन्फाइंड बाय अ लीडर टू हिज ओन और हर ओन सेल्फ. बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी होनी है जो अ लीडर हैज टू शेयर विद अदर्स, बिकॉज द बेस्ट लीडर्स आर दोज लीडर्स हु क्रिएट फ्यूचर लीडर्स. ये किसी ने सही बात कही है कि बेहतरीन लीडर तो वो होता है जो फ्यूचर लीडर्स को क्रिएट करता है. वो फ्यूचर लीडर कैसे क्रिएट हो जाएंगे, वो फ्यूचर लीडर तभी क्रिएट हो जाएंगे जब आप उनको काम एंड ट्रस्ट करोगे और उनको सुपरवाइज भी करते रहोगे. उनको अगर कहीं गलतियां हो रही हैं उनको सुधारोगे, ठीक करोगे. सो दैट इज बेसिकली द रोल ऑफ अ लीडर. अ लीडर, द बेस्ट वन इज द वन who is always thinking of future leaders, because he knows that I'm not going to last for all the times to come. I have to create future leaders. I have to give them proper exposure to leadership. I have to give them a proper kind of guidance and direction so that they also grow up as effective leaders in future. ये बहुत ही जबरदस्त काम है एक लीडर का. तो इस लिहाज से हम ये बात करते हैं कि कुछ लीडर्स ऐसे होते हैं जिनके पास फॉर्मल ऑफिशियल सैंक्शन ये अथॉरिटी होती है, कुछ ऐसे होते हैं जिनके पास कोई फॉर्मल तो नहीं होता है लेकिन उनके अंदर एक करिश्मा होता है काम करने का. अच्छा, और एक बात जो जब हम लीडर, और जैसे मैं आपको कह रहा था मैनेजर और लीडर की बात हम जब करते हैं तो हम ये देखते हैं कि वो मैनेजर होता है, मैनेजर इज ऑलवेज देयर टू मेंटेन अ स्टेटस को. उसका काम है कि दैट ही हैज टू मेंटेन अ स्टेटस को. रीजंस आर वेरी क्लियर, ही कैन नॉट गो बियॉन्ड, उसको उसके आगे नहीं जाना है. उसके लिए जरूरी यह है कि उसको देखना ये जरूरी है कि भाई he is strictly following the given rules and regulations. तो हम ये कहते हैं कि जो मैनेजमेंट का प्रोसेस होता है दैट इज एसेंशियली रिड्यूसिंग अनसर्टेनिटी एंड स्टेबलाइज द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को स्टेबलाइज करना है, आगे ले जाना है, बस हमें रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस के हिसाब से जाना होगा. वी हैव टू ट्राई टू रिड्यूस अनसर्टेनिटी. लेकिन इस किस्म का एक जो अंदर एक ये होता है, वो सोच होता है, वो लीडर के पास होता है कि भाई मैंने किसी भी तरीके से इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को आगे ले जाने के लिए कुछ नया करना होगा. He never wants what is called a status quo. He always wants to make changes in. He is always driven by that mind of creativity and innovation. If I have to achieve something, I cannot go by what's happening in the organization. I have to insert some changes. I have to make some changes. Therefore, leaders are always in search of something very innovative, something very different, something very, I can say, uncommon, which is not being done otherwise. So this is how we differentiate between a leader and a manager. And then we know that leaders have that in mind. They're always creative and very innovative. There is a reason behind. The reason is that they always feel that there is an urge to do something very differently, so that we are able to achieve the goals of the organization. So this is something how we can basically talk about the differences between leaders and managers. We say that leaders agitate for change and new approaches to problems, while as managers are there to always advocate for stability and the status quo. उनका ये काम है कि भाई जैसे चल रहा है चलने दो. और जो लीडर का काम होता है हमेशा वो रिस्क टेकिंग होता है. He always wants to do something very different because ये एक जीन्स में उसके अंदर होगा कि भाई नया कुछ करना है, इसलिए वो एक लीडर कहलाया जाता है. तो जिस भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में लोग आए और बैठे, कोजी रूम्स में बैठे, कोई नया न सोचे, तो उस सूरत में उनको लीडर नहीं कहा जा सकता है. They can simply be dubbed as managers because their job is not to do something very different. They are just confined with and concerned with doing how things are happening already in the organization. Am I audible to you, please? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are.
Okay. So now look at the lead. जो मैंने बात पहले भी कही कि that when it comes to leaders, what about the leaders, the models of leaders? We say that there is one theory called trade theory, and this एक मॉडल तो ये है, इस तरह से करना है कि that we normally say that traits are there, कि लोगों के पास कुछ innate qualities है, characteristics हैं that make them as leaders. इसी तरह से कुछ ऐसे होते हैं जो एक दूसरा मॉडल है, दूसरा पर्सपेक्टिव है बल्कि, और ये पर्सपेक्टिव एक मामूली पर्सपेक्टिव नहीं है. It has lot of implications. When we talk about the traits, we say that there are people having some innate qualities that make them the leaders. Unlike this, we have got a behavioral kind of a perspective, where we are not confining leadership to the traits of the person or relating to the traits of the person alone. We say that how people behave, how leaders, successful leaders actually behave. So on that basis, they do it. They do it on that basis. So it, in other words, means simply कि ये जो अहम पर्सपेक्टिव है इसकी बहुत सारी इंप्लीकेशंस हैं जिनको हम आगे देखेंगे कि इनकी क्या इंप्लीकेशंस पड़ती है और आजकल का दौर क्या कहलाता है. फिर उसके बाद कंटिजेंसी थ्योरी है या ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन लीडरशिप आपने सुना होगा, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड शेयर्ड, जो मैंने आपसे बात कही है कि दैट वी डोंट हैव ओनली वन लीडर, वी हैव टू क्रिएट लीडर्स. सो फॉर क्रिएटिंग लीडर्स, उस सूरत में ये होगा कि लीडर्स को क्रिएट करने के लिए क्या जरूरी है लीडर्स को क्रिएट करने के लिए हमें ये देखना होगा कि हमने इफेक्टिव लीडर्स के बिहेवियर को जांचना होगा, देखना होगा। उस सूरत में ये होगा कि दैट वी वुड बी एबल टू इम्पार्ट रेलिवेंट ट्रेनिंग टू द फ्यूचर लीडर्स। क्या हमें पता है कि जो इफेक्टिव लीडर्स हैं बिहेवियर के एतबार से उसी हिसाब से हम नए लीडर्स को बनाएंगे। ये एक अहम तरीन इम्प्लीकेशन है इस मॉडल की या इस पर्सपेक्टिव की। Now, if we, for example, go by the trait theories, traits, so more important is that when it comes to traits, it simply indicates that you have to have some peculiar traits. And there was a time, physical attributes, for example, like weight, height, physique, energy, these were the kinds of traits that were dubbed to be important for a leader to be an effective leader. ये भी एक जमाना था, बहुत वक्त तक ये चलता रहा और इस वक्त भी काफी इसके ऊपर जोर है फिर भी, लेकिन इतना ज्यादा नहीं है जो हम दूसरा पर्सपेक्टिव बताएंगे जितना उसके ऊपर, अब चूंकि वो एक रिसर्च बेस्ड फिर आगे जाके हुआ है। तो यहाँ पर सिर्फ ट्रेड्स का कहना मतलब ये हुआ कि जिनके पास ये ट्रेड्स होंगे तो जाहिर सी बात है they will be the ones who could be the successful leaders. All those who are without these traits they will never be. अब इसके साथ साथ में एक वो भी वक्त था कि जब एक चाइनीज फिलोसोफर यूं कहता है कि दैट इफेक्टिव लीडर के लिए सेल्फलेस होना जरूरी है, ऑनेस्ट होना बहुत जरूरी है, फेयर होना बहुत जरूरी है और हार्ड वर्किंग होना बहुत जरूरी है। So he talked about all these different kinds of traits to come up for an effective leader. अगर एक लीडर को देखना है कि इफेक्टिव बनना चाहिए, उसके अंदर ये सब चीजें होनी चाहिए ताकि वो एक इफेक्टिव लीडर कहलाएगा। फिर उसके बाद एक वो जमाना भी आया जब ट्रेड्स के ऊपर काफी क्रिटिसाइज किया गया है। लॉट ऑफ क्रिटिसिज्म वाज देयर ऑन लीडर, ऑन द ट्रेड्स ऑफ द लीडर्स, कि दैट इज इट दैट traits of the leaders are that important alone, or something else is there. So what happened? Major reviews of studies in 1940s were conducted and they didn't find any consistency in the effective traits of the leaders. अब इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि वो एक जमाना था, न कोई मीडिया था, मीडियम ऑफ जो आप किसी के पास कोई बात पहुंचाएंगे, it used to take a lot of time. Naturally, people from different parts of the world, living in different parts of the world, they would come up with their own philosophies, their own ideas and understanding, given the kind of exposure that they had. कि भाई, these are the important qualities of a leader. These are the important qualities of a leader. And then, as a result of that, they would not converge anywhere. Convergence नहीं हुआ करता था कि इसका मतलब है कि किसी ने कुछ कहा, किसी ने कुछ और कहा, किसी ने कुछ और कहा, लिहाजा इट वाज ऑल कंफ्यूजिंग कि अब पता नहीं कि एक्चुअल में अगर ट्रेड्स की बात करनी है कौन कौन से ट्रेड्स इंपॉर्टेंट है, या कि ऐसा ही है कोई यूं कहेगा कि भाई उसका ऑनेस्ट होना जरूरी है, कोई यूं कहेगा कि उसका इंटेलिजेंट होना बहुत जरूरी है, कोई यूं कहेगा कि वो सेल्फलेस होना चाहिए, कोई यूं कहेगा कि वो इमोशनली बड़ा स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए, कोई यूं कहेगा कि उसकी टॉलरेंस लेवल बड़ी होनी चाहिए। तो इस तरह से फ्रॉम डिफरेंट क्वार्टर्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, फ्रॉम डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, people have had their own ideas given the exposures that they had, and as a result of they would come up with all different kinds of those different what you call as the traits. कोई कन्वर्जेंस नहीं था, लेकिन फिर ये होने के बाद अगेन देयर वाज अ रिकॉग्निशन ऑफ सम ट्रेट्स। अब ये भी नहीं था कि भाई हम ट्रेट्स को कंप्लीटली इग्नोर करें, हम ट्रेट्स को कंप्लीटली मानेंगे नहीं, वो भी नहीं था कि ट्रेट्स को मानना है, लेकिन अब ट्रेट्स को थोड़ा बहुत क्लब करना शुरू हुआ कि भाई स्किल्स होने बहुत जरूरी है, लीडर के पास नॉलेज का होना बहुत जरूरी है, उसका एप्टीट्यूड होना बहुत जरूरी है, और भी कुछ पर्सनल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होने बहुत जरूरी है। Am I audible to you? Are you hearing me properly?
Yes, sir.
Any issues there,
Yes,
please?
sir. No, there's no.
Are you hearing me properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, if we move forward, because now लोगों ने शुरू कर दिया कि भाई कुछ तो ट्रेड्स बहुत जरूरी है, और ये वो वक्त था कि जब ऐसा हुआ कि कुछ कॉम्पिटेंसीज के बारे में कहा गया है कि भाई कुछ कॉम्पिटेंसीज बहुत जरूरी है, ये होना लाजमी है एक लीडर के लिए। अब उसमें उन्होंने क्या कहा, उसमें उन्होंने कहा कि भाई पर्सनालिटी, एक्सट्रोवर्शन, कॉन्शियसनेस, या इसी तरह से सेल्फ कॉन्सेप्ट, इंटरनल लुक्स ऑफ कंट्रोल, ये कुछ ऐसे ट्रेट्स हैं जो एक लीडर के पास होने बहुत जरूरी है फिर किसी ने कहा ये एक और कॉम्पिटेंसी है उसका, ड्राइव, इनक्विजिटिवनेस, एक्शन ओरिएंटेड, भाई करना है, ये चीज करनी ही करनी है। ऐसे नहीं है कि भाई कोई सोचेगा फिर देखिएगा कि करना है कि नहीं करना है, या फिर ऐसा ड्राइव होगा या ऐसा माइंडसेट होगा कि आज प्लान करेगा, फिर फिर 10 साल के बाद उसको इंप्लीमेंट किया जाएगा, 5 साल के बाद, 4 साल के बाद। भाई थिंग्स आर मूविंग वेरी वेरी फास्ट। अ लीडर शुड बी वेरी इंक्विजिटिव एंड शुड आल्सो बी एक्शन ओरिएंटेड। जो प्लान दिमाग में आया उसको फौरन उसको इंप्लीमेंट किया जाए। इसी तरह से इंटीग्रिटी, ट्रूथफुलनेस, और साथ साथ में कंसिस्टेंसी इन वर्ड्स एंड एक्शंस, जो वो कहता है वही करता है। अगर उसके बगैर एक लीडर होगा तो जाहिर सी बात है ये भी एक कॉम्पिटेंसी नहीं कहलाएगी। उसका मैन ऑफ इंटीग्रिटी होना बहुत जरूरी है। एक बार ही वो लोगों को धोखा दे सकता है, दूसरी बार ही कर सकता है, तीसरी बार नहीं कर सकता है। तो एक लीडर के पास ये इस किस्म का सोच होना बहुत जरूरी है कि दैट आई कैन नॉट बी ट्रिकी ऑलवेज, I cannot outwit and outsmart others. So a leader who is man of integrity would never think of being, I can say, outsmarting others. He would always think that what I say, I should do it, so that people accept him. They accept him, they believe him, and they feel him that he is a responsible person. और उसके साथ साथ में लीडरशिप मोटिवेशन, हाई नीड फॉर सोशलाइजिंग पावर टू अचीव ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल गोल्स, knowledge of business, cognitive practical intelligence, above average cognitive ability, able to solve real world problems, emotional intelligence। आजकल के दौर में और ज्यादा अहमियत का हामिल है इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस। एक तो ये हुआ कि आपका इंटेलिजेंट क्वोशिएंट क्या है, अब ये कहा जाता है कि आप कितने इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंट आदमी हो। आज बहुत सारा इसके आगे भी जा रहा है। तो कहने की बात यह है कि लीडरशिप के पास ये कॉम्पिटेंसीज का होना बहुत लाजमी है। अब हम एज लीडर्स, टीचर्स भी लीडर्स हैं। It's not a must that we should only be holding a position of a head or a dean or a principal or a vice chancellor. Otherwise, and then otherwise also, these are some of the important traits and competencies that were required by us in our day-to-day life, in order to live a very peaceful, a meaningful life, and in order to give peace to others as well. ये भी बहुत जरूरी है। अब ये नहीं है कि that we should only live peaceful life for ourselves, we should also live peaceful life for others. So all these different kinds of traits are becoming increasingly important in the modern world. They are not just simply confined to an academic leader, they are to everybody, and they are actually more importantly to we as teachers in the given setup, in the academic setup. अब इन ट्रेट्स को क्या किया गया, अब जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा कि एक वो भी जमाना आया कि इन तमाम ट्रेट्स को जो आइडेंटिफाई किए गए, जो मुख्तलिफ स्कॉलर्स ने, मुख्तलिफ फिलोसफर्स ने, मुख्तलिफ जगहों से उन्होंने अपना अपना अनुभव दिखाया कि भाई ये होना बहुत जरूरी है। अब उन्होंने क्या किया कि मुख्तलिफ ट्रेट्स को क्लब किया गया है 5 डायमेंशंस में। जैसे यह है जिसको हम कहते हैं बिग 5 पर्सनालिटी मॉडल, बिग 5 पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट्स। यानी अब एक मजमा बनाया हमने, हमने ये कहा कि दैट वी हैव गॉट द डायमेंशंस अंडर व्हिच ईच वन ऑफ दीज डिफरेंट ट्रेट्स कुड बी क्लब्ड। लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल एक्सट्रोवर्शन, कॉन्शियसनेस, ओपनिस्ट एक्सपीरियंस, इमोशनल स्टेबिलिटी, agreeableness. These were identified, or these were considered to be, or all these different traits were organized into these 5 different, we can say, dimensions, जिसको कहा जाता है बिग 5 पर्सनालिटी फ्रेमवर्क। पॉल कोस्टा जूनियर एंड रॉबर्ट मैक्रे इन 1980 उन्होंने ये काम किया कि भाई जो मुख्तलिफ ट्रेड्स मुख्तलिफ लोगों ने मुख्तलिफ इलाकों से दिए हैं, मुख्तलिफ बैकग्राउंड के लोगों ने दिए हैं, उनको कहीं क्लब किया जाएगा। उन्होंने कहा कि ये 5 एक्सट्रोवर्शन है वगैरह वगैरह। अब इनका क्या रोल है लीडरशिप में, वो भी बहुत जरूरी है। इनका रोल भी है, जैसे अगर कोई एक्सट्रावर्ट है वो बड़ा आउटगोइंग होगा, बड़ा एनर्जेटिक होगा, बड़ा असर्टिव होगा। इसी तरह से ही विल कम्युनिकेट वेरी इफेक्टिवली, ही विल टेक इनिशिएटिव्स एंड विल बी वेरी कंफर्टेबल इन सोशल सिचुएशंस। इसी तरह से कॉन्शियसनेस, इट रिफ्लेक्ट्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, डिपेंडेबिलिटी, इंसान का डिपेंडेबल होना, और ये मस्ट है एक लीडर के लिए। इसी तरह से ओपनिस्ट एक्सपीरियंस, leaders are very creative, curious, and open to new ideas. Emotional stability, low neuroticism. Emotional stable leaders, they manage stress well and they stay calm under pressure. एक आम चीज होता है, जैसे हम अभी बात कर रहे थे कि इमोशनल स्टेबिलिटी हमारे लिए अदरवाइज भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। और स्पेशली एक लीडर जो होता है उसको बहुत कुछ सुनना पड़ता है। उसको बहुत कुछ बर्दाश्त करना पड़ता है। लिहाजा एक लीडर के लिए इमोशनल स्टेबिलिटी का होना बहुत ही जरूरी है। He should not get tempered so easily on very small issues. He should not lose his temper. He should not lose his cool. As a good, effective leader, he should be very cool and calm, listening others, and then reacting very genuinely. This is an important kind of a trait that is otherwise important for us as live in our day-to-day lives. Then to talk about agreeableness. And you will find some people who are hell-bent at creating problems. उनका वजूद ही वैसा होता है, उनकी जिंदगी ऐसी होती है कि आपने देखा होगा अपने वर्क प्लेसेस में भी कि कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं कि दैट दे आर ऑलवेज देयर टू क्रिएट द प्रॉब्लम्स। उनका एक नेगेटिव सेटअप है, नेगेटिव माइंडसेट है। इसीलिए यहाँ पर ये अहम तरीन बात है कि वो लोग जिनको एक पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट होता है, जो पॉजिटिव साइकोलॉजी कहलाती है, पॉजिटिविज्म जो एक इंसान के अंदर होता है, पॉजिटिवली चीजों को देखना। एक होता है कि व्हाट इज रॉन्ग विद पीपल, दूसरा होता है व्हाट इज राइट और व्हाट इज गुड विद पीपल। यानी यहाँ पर सोच ये है कि जरा हम वो चीजें देखें कि लोगों के अंदर अच्छा अच्छा क्या है, बजाय इसके कि दैट वी विल लुक ऑलवेज फॉर व्हाट इज रॉन्ग विद द पीपल। So the more you focus on that kind of a mind, that kind of a situation, more negative will always turn out to be. तो agreeableness का मतलब ये हुआ फिर आप कितने compassionate हैं, आपको कितना फील हो रहा है दूसरी की दर्द को देख के, प्रॉब्लम को देख के, and how much forthcoming you are to help, and how much harmonious kind of relationships you want to maintain in your organization. ये भी बहुत जरूरी है, इंट्रोस्पेक्शन करना अपने एक्शंस का लोगों के साथ कि वो कैसे काम कर रहे हैं। मैं अभी किसी का सुन रहा था, आई एम जस्ट शेयरिंग इट विद यू, किसी ने कोई वीडियो भेजा था अभी, और किसी की रिटायरमेंट पे कोई फंक्शन चल रही थी, तो अब ऐसा हो रहा था कि हर एक ने बहुत सारी तारीफें की। अभी जो एक बंदा उन्होंने बुलाया था, एक आदमी, उसको ही वाज आल्सो इनवाइटेड टू दैट फंक्शन on the retirement of some employee in a particular organization. ये आज ही मैं सुन रहा था किसी का ये वाक़ा। तो अब बहुत सारे लोगों ने तारीफें की कि हमें आपका ये याद रहेगा, वो याद रहेगा, वगैरह वगैरह, ये सब कुछ हुआ। फिर उसके बाद ये बंदा कह रहा है कि मुझे थोड़ा सा टाइम लगा, मैं किसी काम में फंसा हुआ था उन्हीं के ऑफिस में थोड़ी देर के लिए। तो मैं जो ही आफ्टरवर्ड्स निकला वहां से, तो मैंने देखा कि 3 लोग आपस में बातें कर रहे थे बाहर। वो कह रहे थे कि यार किसी तरीके से जान हमने छुड़वाई इस बंदे से। यानी he was not liked by those people, they were just kind of flattering him. वो असल में सिर्फ एंड में ये सोच रहे थे कि यार किसी भी तरीके से या अभी निकल गया मेरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में। यानी लोग इस तरह से अपना व्यवहार, अपना तौर तरीका ऐसा होता है कि दूसरे लोग बजाय इसके कि वो इस चीज को लेके बड़े नाराज होंगे कि भाई इसको अब निकलना है, ये हमारे साथ कितना हमदर्द था, कितना अच्छा था, कितनी हार्मोनियस रिलेशनशिप ने डेवलप की थी, ये किसी को तंग नहीं कर रहा था, अच्छे तरीके से जिंदगी गुजार रहा था। तो अब ये सोच कि नहीं, इसका निकलना ही बेहतर था। ये लोग, देयर आर पीपल हु डू नॉट वांट टू मेंटेन दोस हार्मोनियस एंड कॉर्डियल रिलेशनशिप or relations in organizations. They resort to different kinds of acts which surely creates a kind of a disturbance at the workplace as well. Am I audible to you?
Sir, very much clear, sir, very much clear.
So great, so great. So the point basically is now, since this was a perspective which was just confined to the traits, identifying the traits of the people, and that's what will make the people, that will make the leaders as effective leaders. And naturally, if you have a very effective leader, it percolates down to, and it is also reflected in the success and performance of the organization concerned. This is a model. अब इसमें कुछ हम ये कहते हैं, जाहिर सी बात है कि these are the perspectives and these are the models developed by the human beings, and human beings cannot necessarily come up with very perfect 101% perfect kind of a model. There will surely be some lapses, there will surely be some issues here and there. For example, we take a one, competencies refer to leadership potential. अगर हम बात करेंगे लीडरशिप पोटेंशियल की, ट्रेट्स की जब हम बात करते हैं, तो ये ट्रेट्स की बात क्या है? ट्रेट्स मीन दैट दिस इज अ पोटेंशियल इन अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, उसके अंदर जबरदस्त पोटेंशियल है। लेकिन ये जरूरी नहीं है कि वो पोटेंशियल जो है वो परफॉर्मेंस में परकुलेट हो जाए या उसका जो है ये परफॉर्मेंस उसकी उस वजह से हो जाए. यानी पीपल माइट हैव सम गुड, वी कैन से पोटेंशियल, अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग पोटेंशियल, बट इट इज ऑल्सो नॉट नेसेसरी दैट दैट पोटेंशियल बी प्रॉपर्ली यूज्ड. कितनी बार हम अपने बच्चों को देखते हैं कि कुछ हमारे अपने ही बच्चे क्लासरूम में हुए या अपने बच्चे हों घर में, देखते हैं कि बहुत ही अच्छे हैं, बहुत ही अच्छा काम करते हैं, जानते हैं, इंटेलिजेंट है, लेकिन मेहनत नहीं करते हैं. दे आर नॉट मेकिंग यूज ऑफ द पोटेंशियल दैट दे हैव. हाउ मेनी टाइम्स वी से सो इज द केस विद लीडरशिप. लीडर के अंदर बहुत सारे गुण हैं, बहुत सारे अच्छे गुण हैं उसको, लेकिन उनका अमलाना, उनका यूज करना, दैट मैटर्स मोर देन हैविंग ओनली दोज पोटेंशियलिटीज. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? Am I right in saying that? Are you getting my point?
Participant, is there any clear or any doubt? You can please reply.
Okay, so let us move now. Now, this was a perspective which was confined to the leader's traits. Now, since I said you that we will also discuss a bit of the behavior of the leaders, a very important perspective. Then, since there was a kind of a criticism on the leadership traits perspective, so a new, we can say, perspective emerged called as leader behavior perspective. Researchers in the late 40s through 60s, they searched for again uniqueness if any in the behavior of the effective leaders. कि भाई उनका लीडर, वो लीडर का क्या एक खास बिहेवियर होता है जिससे वो इफेक्टिव बनता है. Why? Researchers just tried to attempt to and correlate the leader behavior modes and styles to subordinates performance. It should be reflected in that. That's what I was saying, that a person has got a potential, but that potential is not made use of. For example, in a given cricket match, there is a team of 11 players, and some of the players have got a very huge potential. They can do a lot good to the team, to the country that they belong to. But when it comes to performing it, they are not performing well. तो हम बात करते हैं पोटेंशियल तो बहुत है, टेक्निक है, वो है, ये है, but it's not actually getting reflected in the performance. So is the case in a given organization. आपके पास एक लीडर ऊपर बैठे हैं, सपोज एक वाइस चांसलर बैठा है, उसकी बहुत साइटेशंस है और बड़ा पोटेंशियल, बोल्ड चाल है, वो है, ये है, सब चीजें हैं, लेकिन फिर हम जब देखते हैं कि अल्टीमेटली इसका क्या असर पड़ता है यूनिवर्सिटी की फंक्शनिंग पे, अगर वो कुछ नहीं है तो व्हाट इज द फन. तो इसीलिए हम ज्यादा क्या देखते हैं कि हमें ये देखना है कि जो एक लीडर का बिहेवियर है, हमें उसकी जात पे, उसके पोटेंशियलिटीज और उसकी ट्रेड्स के बजाय उसके बिहेवियर को जांचना होगा, देखना होगा. हाउ इज हिज बिहेवियर and how that behavior gets ultimately translated into the subordinate superior performance and satisfaction. That matters to the organization also, and that's what matters to the academic institutions as well. Now, took some look at this. Some important, I can say, studies were conducted, especially the Michigan University study and that of Ohio State University. And what did they do actually is that they wanted to look at the behaviors of the effective leaders. अब ओहियो स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी जो 1945 में स्टडी उन्होंने की है, they started with 1000 dimensions to look at behavioral characteristics of leaders. What is something very unique in their behaviors? What do they do to be the effective leaders? सबसे पहले जो उन्होंने जांचा और देखा वो ये था कि that these kinds of leaders initiate structure. Structure. What does that mean? That means they define their own role. हमें क्या करना है as leaders? What is my role as a leader? My role as a leader to make this organization as a very effective organization. अपना रोल देखना. So ये है कि जब आप क्लास में जाएंगे, जब आप हेड बनेंगे, जब आप डीन बनेंगे इंशाल्लाह, जब आप प्रिंसिपल बनेंगे या वाइस चांसलर बनेंगे, आपको ये देखना है कि भाई मेरा रोल क्या है. आम तौर पे हम ये बात कहते हैं, the people who are holding positions, a good number of them do not know what they are actually for. अच्छा, अब क्या होता है उस सूरत में? They remain highly dependent on their personal secretaries. जो और लोग होंगे उनका ज्यादा वो मदद लेते हैं, उनका सुनते हैं, खुद को पता नहीं कि हमारा रोल क्या है, हमारी अथॉरिटी क्या है, हम क्या कर सकते हैं, खुद को आपने नहीं पहचाना विद अ पर्टिकुलर काइंड ऑफ अ रोल. So if you are a principal of a college, you should of your own understand and know it well. कि what exactly is expected of me and how I could be an effective principal. Effective principal रोब आपसे नहीं होता है कि आप किसी को यार इंटिमिडेट करोगे, you will become so authoritative. यही बात हम कर रहे हैं, आप यही बात हम कर रहे हैं कि नॉर्मली हमारा जो एक ब्यूरोक्रेटिक कल्चर बनता है जब हम प्रिंसिपल बनते हैं, हेड बनते हैं, डीन बनते हैं, भाई यहाँ किसी को छोड़ो मत, इस कमरे में किसी को छोड़ो मत, अब जो परमिशन लेगा पहले ऑफिस में जाने, बहुत ऐसी चीजें हो रही हैं हमारी तरफ से भी कि फिर जो असल में ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हैं उनसे भी कभी कहीं हम बदतर होते जा रहे हैं. हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, एकेडमी इंस्टीट्यूशन में इस किस्म का कंट्रोल मैकेनिज्म इतना वर्केबल नहीं है. इसलिए हमें यह सोचना है कि जो हमारा रोल है क्लासरूम में, हमारा रोल क्या है, हाउ शुड वी परसुएड, मोटिवेट, इंस्पायर our students to be regular, for example, to I can say take exams on time, to improve themselves. That is important. We cannot be that bureaucratic as we at times once we hold any kind of position we turn out to be. Now look at this particular study. Now I'm saying that there's an evidence. अब उन्होंने क्या देखा, who are actually the most effective leaders, who are actually the most effective principals. For instance, the first thing that they have found about the leaders is that they are there to initiate structure. They know about their own role and the role of their subordinate, their colleagues, their subordinates. उनको क्या करना है. So if I am a vice chancellor of a university, what my registrar is supposed to do, what my dean research is supposed to do, what my dean academics is supposed to do, what my control is supposed to do, what my various heads of the various function departments are supposed to do, that he should be able to do. And second one is considerate, which is equally important, that you're on one side are initiating structure. The second important thing is that consideration, extent to which a person's job relationships are characterized by mutual trust. ये नहीं होना चाहिए कि भाई मैं किसी के ऊपर कोई ट्रस्ट ही नहीं करता हूं, भाई उसके बगैर तो लाइफ ही नहीं गुजर सकती है. ट्रस्ट करना ही करना है. वर्क प्लेसेस पे ट्रस्ट करने की बहुत ही जरूरत है. इसी तरह से रेस्पेक्ट फॉर एम्प्लॉयज आइडियाज. ये नहीं कि दैट आई एम द ओनली वन हु कैन टेक जेन्युइन आई कैन से डिसीजंस. You should be always ready to take the counsel and the opinions and the feelings of others. ये बहुत जरूरी है. तो उसी को हम कहते हैं कि that we are not turning out to be the bureaucrats in the academic institutions. We should necessarily have the respect and regard for the feelings and ideas of others. This is what I am not saying you. This is the study that was conducted by Ohio State University long back in 1945. They found that these are important behaviors which have been noted down by their followers. और दूसरी जो स्टडी थी, that was Michigan University's two behavioral dimensions they also found. उसका भी दो और इनका भी दो. उन्होंने ये देखा कि भाई वहां पर वो देखें रोल, इनिशिएटिंग स्ट्रक्चर एंड कंसिडरेशन. Here the situation is different. Employee oriented leader and production oriented leader. A leader has two important perspectives. Keep in mind that he cannot be employee oriented at the cost of production. He cannot be production oriented leader at the cost of employee. No, he has to basically try to maintain a balance. So this study emphasizes the importance of participative leadership. Leaders seek input from subordinates, enhancing job satisfaction and productivity. So we say that in this context, a successful leader and an effective leader is one who has consideration for employees and who has equal consideration for production. He does not remain confined to one at the cost of the other. अब एक आम चीज है जिसकी तरफ हमारा ध्यान जाना चाहिए कि भाई देखो, एक लीडर जो होता है, he should be initiating structure and he should be also considerate. अब मसला यह है कि that when should he be considerate and when should he be initiating structure? When he should entrust, when should he be taskmaster? When should he say employees to do this way or that way? When he should be like that? तो इस लिहाज से एक थ्योरी जिसको कहते हैं लाइफ साइकिल थ्योरी ऑफ लीडरशिप, एक आम इस लिहाज से हमें गाइड कर रही है कि कहां पर एक लीडर को इनिशिएट स्ट्रक्चर करना है और कहां पर एक लीडर को जो है जो कंसिडरेट रहना है. दोनों चीजें कहां पर वो कहां पर है. The theory assumes that optimal combination of initiating structure and consideration depends on the readiness or level of maturity of the employee. Readiness is defined as the degree to which the employee have. अब ये है कि हमें देखना है कि readiness क्या है, उसकी ability क्या है और willingness क्या है. जैसे हम क्लास में देखते हैं कुछ बच्चे होते हैं कि वो बिल्कुल रिसेप्टिव होते हैं, उनको आपको ज्यादा करने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर आप कोई असाइनमेंट उनको दोगे या कोई काम दोगे, they will be ready to do that assignment, do that work. They will not just avoid it because they have in their nature doing. So as a result of that, they will have ability and they will have a willingness as well. अब कुछ हमारे स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे होते हैं कि वो एबिलिटी तो उनके पास होती है लेकिन दे आर नॉट विलिंग टू डू. इसी तरह से कुछ एम्प्लॉय ऐसे होंगे या हमारे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं, दे आर विलिंग टू डू लेकिन उनके पास कोई एबिलिटी नहीं है. तो इसका मतलब है जो हम बात करते हैं इनिशिएटिंग स्ट्रक्चर और जो हम बात करते हैं बीइंग कंसिडरेट, इट विल वेरी. It will depend upon the kind of clientele that we have. It will depend upon the kind of employees that we have. It will depend upon the kind of students that we have. उस हिसाब से उनको हमें देखना होगा, उस हिसाब से हमें उनको ट्रीट करना होगा. That is very essential, very important. Now, for example, look at this. We say that जहां पर आपके यहाँ एम्प्लॉई अनेबल हैं बट ही इज अनविलिंग एज वेल. एक तो वो जानता भी नहीं है कुछ, जैसे स्टूडेंट है, कुछ पता भी नहीं है और शौक नहीं रखता है काम करने और कुछ सही करने का. तो उसको क्या करना है, वो हमारे अंडर है, हमें उनको बताना है कैसे क्या काम करना है. हमें वी हैव नॉट टू बी कंसिडरेट टुवर्ड्स देम. वी कैन नॉट शो एनी काइंड ऑफ अ कंसिडरेशन टुवर्ड्स दोस काइंड्स ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स हु आर neither I can say able nor are they willing to learn. उनके लिए हमें क्या करना है, हाई इनिशिएटिंग स्ट्रक्चर, भाई ये करना है, उनको बताना है कैसे क्या काम करना है, बस दैट इज इट. इसी तरह से अनेबल बट विलिंग. कुछ बंदे ऐसे होंगे हमारे जो अनेबल हैं लेकिन चाहते हैं कि काम करें. उनके लिए हमें उनको बताना है कि भाई कैसे करें, क्योंकि वो अनेबल हैं. और साथ में हमें बहुत कंसिडरेट होना चाहिए उनके साथ, क्योंकि अगर उनके पास एक खामी है अनएबल होने की, वो काम नहीं कर सकते सही, उनको समझ में नहीं आ रही है लेकिन चाहत है काम करने की, विच इज अनलाइक द फर्स्ट वन R1. R3 ये होगा कि एबल बट अनविलिंग. अब और एक है, उनके पास एबिलिटी है लेकिन विलिंग नहीं है, अनविलिंग है. तो हमें वहां इनिशिएट स्ट्रक्चर तो करना ही नहीं है लेकिन उनको परसुएड करना है, उनको इंस्पायर करना है, उनको कुछ मोटिवेट करना है सो दैट दे वर्क. जैसे हमारी क्लास में बच्चे होंगे, एबिलिटी होगी लेकिन अनविलिंग होगी प्रेजेंटेशन देने के लिए, वो आगे नहीं आएंगे कि दैट व्हाई शुड वी बी डूइंग प्रेजेंटेशन और मेकिंग प्रेजेंटेशंस. तो वहां पर हमें परसुएड करना लाजमी बनता है ताकि वो बच्चे आगे आए, वो इंस्पायर हो जाएं और उनको एक एक्सपोजर मिल जाए. ये जरूरी है. इसी तरह एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में भी ऐसा हो सकता है कि लोग काबिल तो हैं लेकिन विलिंग नहीं है किसी भी तरीके से, उनके अंदर वो मोटिवेशन नहीं है, वो इंस्पिरेशन नहीं है, वो इंटरेस्ट नहीं है काम करने का. तो उनको वहां पर हमें कंसिडरेट रहना पड़ेगा और बहुत ज्यादा कंसिडरेशन में दिखानी होगी. इसी तरह से एक और ग्रुप होगा जो वो एबल भी होगा और विलिंग भी होगा. उनके लिए तो कोई इतना ज्यादा बड़ा मसला हमारे लिए नहीं है. अब देखो, अब मैंने ये मेरे पास एक क्वेश्चनियर है. I would like to consume your few minutes so that you are able to fill it up and you get to know where you stand in terms of initiating structure and consideration. But I would like to know that whether it is visible to you or not. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
So is this visible to you, this questionnaire?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This is also visible, this questionnaire? Can you read
Yes,
it?
sir.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
The only thing that you have to do is to just fill it up. There are 20 items and there are instructions also given. If you will just go through the instructions, you just have to have a pen and paper with you. You have not to, write the question. You have to just write the number, item number 1, and then you have to give a score against item number 1. There are options given 1 to 5. Hope you will be able to just do this. Score on the right side. Are you doing it, please? Shall we move to the next few question items? Is it visible, please? Are you doing it? Have you got the score, please? There is nobody responding from your end. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
So what about the question here? Have you filled it up? Have you filled it up? That's what I was telling you, that if it is not clear, you should have told me. You're not telling. Now you are writing only. But initially, some people said, yes, it is very much visible to us. How about this? Is there anyone listening?
Sir, actually what happened, the font is very small and we are not able to see that questionnaire very properly, sir.
Yeah, I said in the beginning itself that if it is visible or not, but I was given a nod. Yes, it is visible. We see it. Now, what about this? Is again the same. There's a problem.
If it is possible, can you make the this presentation in the PowerPoint mode? Because if it is possible, then we can see, sir, properly.
It is in the PowerPoint mode only.
No, sir, no.
Option.
How about this?
Yes, yes, sir. Now it is very much clear. You can please scroll on the side of this.
Is it visible?
Sir, it is visible. Yes, sir. Now it is visible. Sir, now it is visible.
But all items must not be visible to you. Since there is no response, let me move forward. I'm sorry, I don't see any kind of a response, a positive one from your end. And let me start move ahead with this. Then when it comes to the National Education Policy 2020 and a focus on academic leaders, we have been saying it that there are definitely some important challenges that, and initially we can talk about the recommendations of the NEP, and actually these recommendations have posed a lot of challenge, or they are posing lots of challenges to the heads of the institutions. And for example, the introduction of autonomy, multidisciplinary system, multiple entry and exit points, academic banks of credits, proposed increased gross enrollment ratio, and these and many other regulatory norms are there, which are surely pushing very hard, on the leaders. It's not that easy for leaders to run the affairs under such circumstances. They have to be well equipped. So, as I said in the beginning also, that these are the kinds of programs that are actually trying to expose the future leaders and the ones who are sitting right now as leaders, academic leaders of the academic institutions, that they should have the proper understanding of the nitty-gritties of leadership. For example, when it comes to NEP 2020, the academic leaders have got an important role, which is strategic in nature. Strategic role in implementing NEP reforms, introduction of structural, curricular, and pedagogical changes, which are must. And academic leaders, be it the principals, heads, deans, they must interpret these reforms properly. There has been a lot of confusion with lots of things, and these confusions could only be cleared by the people who have a proper grit and understanding of the things. Because the traditional way of running the academic institution is now gone past. It's not something that can be done by everyone. You ought to have a very proper understanding of the things. In certain cases, we have seen the heads of the departments, the committees of the boards of undergraduate and postgraduate creating a mess when it comes to framing the, or I can say structuring the course of their PG and undergraduate. And also, very recently, though, the University Grants Commission has come up with some kind of a roadmap for the course structures for various streams. So we say that is a strategic role of the leaders in the implementation of the NEP reforms. Likewise, transition to multidisciplinary education. Multidisciplinary and holistic learning, academic leaders must redesign curricula. They should promote cross-disciplinary collaboration and guide faculty in adapting to broader teaching approach. It's very important. They have to do all this. Likewise, autonomy and institutional transformation. Greater autonomy is there now vested with universities. Formation of multidisciplinary education and research universities. We know MERUs. Effective leadership is required to build internal governance. Now look, that it is the case with the universities also, that they can have a course like CW plus R or CW plus CW, and there are some universities which have been exclusively granted the permission of running research alone. So in these circumstances, a leader has to be a very dynamic, a very effective one. The HOD, the principals and vice chancellor of the universities ought to be fully exposed to how to build internal governance, how to create a very collaborative and a harmonious kind of a ecosystem within the institution, how to do away with the bureaucratic, control-centric, command-centric kind of a system. Because the national education policy does not ever warrant that, and it will not basically flourish under that circumstances or under that ecosystem. Likewise, focus on research, innovation, and quality. NEP again has gotten, and it wants that from colleges itself. Research should not begin from the university. Colleges should also basically contribute in research arena. And as a result of that, the college teachers have to be well versed with conducting research. They should have a proper orientation. They should have a proper exposure to it. Academic leaders now play a very important role in promoting a research culture, facilitating faculty development, guiding refresher, orientation courses, and fostering collaborations to enhance institutional, what is called a research output in the society. And then also, very important is that these researchers should be aligned with the requirements of the society. Society has lots of problems, and those problems have to be addressed in these research. They should be not academic, in fact, they should be action-oriented kind of research, where all the different stakeholders will be benefited. So it again needs that kind of an exposure and understanding of conducting research, identifying the problems, and it cannot be done ordinarily. It cannot be done the way the institutions used to be run. We ought to have a very dynamic person at the helm of affairs, understanding the requirements of the research, understanding the requirements of aligning research to the societal requirements and needs. That's very basically needed. And that is possible only from a person who has a proper, I can say, understanding of running the affairs and has a proper leadership acumen. Likewise, technology integration and digital transformation. Promotion of digital education, now we know, is blended learning and online assessments. Academic leaders must drive digital transformation, ensuring faculty and students are trained and equipped. Every teacher, now we know that there are universities, we know that there are faculty members sponsored by the universities to attend various academic leadership oriented programs. The programs that will make them future leaders. And digital transformation, AI, onslaught of AI is there, onslaught of huge technology is there. You cannot run the affairs on traditional basis. As a leader, You should be first of all well versed with it. And if you are not, you won't be able to understand the essence and importance of it. And naturally, you would lose the importance of implementing the digital transformation. You would not be there because you would least care about it. You say that how important it is because you're not aware. As an academic leader, you have to be well versed with it so that you realize the relevance and importance of this, so that you are able to have your faculty and you are able to ensure your faculty and students are trained and they are able to use the technology effectively, which is very important. So if you know the relevance and importance of beneficial it can be for me, then only you can percolate it down. इसी तरह से कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड एंड आउटकम बेस्ड एजुकेशन सिस्टम, एक वो जमाना था जब बात, अब ये दूसरा मरहला है कि हमें पता होना चाहिए कि जो हमारा प्रोग्राम है, इस प्रोग्राम का असल मकसद क्या है. How should it benefit the student, the society at large, various stakeholders? Why this particular program? What are the program learning outcomes, overall program? और उसके अंदर फिर जाहिर सी बात है अलग सेमेस्टर्स होंगे, अलग सेमेस्टर के अलग अलग कोर्सेज होंगे. उन कोर्सेज को अलाइन करना है पीएलओज के साथ. जो हमारे कोर्स लर्निंग आउटकम्स हैं उनको प्रोग्राम लर्निंग आउटकम्स के साथ अलाइन करना है. ये देखना है कि दैट हाउ अलाइंड दे आर, हाउ इंपॉर्टेंट दे आर, हाउ रिलेटेड दे आर टू दैट. ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो ये भी मुमकिन ये अब उससे क्या होगा, उससे ये फायदा होगा कि जहां पर हमें ये लगे कि कोई कोर्स है उसका जो लर्निंग आउटकम है इट इज नॉट दैट रिलेटेड टू द ओवरऑल प्रोग्राम लर्निंग आउटकम, देन इन दैट केस यू हैव टू एनरिच द कंटेंट्स ऑफ द कोर्स. असल मकसद तो वो है कि जो आपने कोर्स डिजाइन किया है वो कोर्स कितना क्लोज है आपके ओवरऑल प्रोग्राम के साथ, कितना रिलेट करता है उसके साथ. And where you find the relationship is very, very low, then it would mean that आपको कोर्स कंटेंट्स में तब्दीली लानी है, चेंजेस लानी है, जिसकी वजह से आपका जो सीएलओ है that will get related to your overall program learning outcomes. ये अहम चीज है. इसी तरह से इक्विटी, इंक्लूजन, लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग की बात है. Academic leadership must ensure that the institution's vision aligns with NEP schools of inclusivity, gender equality, lifelong learning by initiating supportive policies and inclusive practices. इसी तरह से कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग की जो बात हम कर रहे हैं वहां पर भी यही है. NEP success largely depends on motivated, trained, empowered faculty. इनके पास प्रॉपर ट्रेनिंग होनी बहुत जरूरी है. इनको मुख्तलिफ फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम्स को अटेंड करने का मौका देना जरूरी है. लीडरशिप ट्रेनिंग इनको देनी है, मेंटरशिप इनको सिखानी है. जब ये चीजें इनके अंदर आएंगी तब जाके ही ये अपने इंस्टीट्यूशंस में खुद भी फायदेमंद साबित होंगे और औरों को भी उसका फायदा उठा दे सकते हैं. तो ये बहुत लाजमी चीजें हैं जिसकी तरफ ध्यान जाना बहुत ही जरूरी है और इम्पोर्टेंट है. मैं ये चाहूंगा कि अभी 5-7 मिनट बाकी हैं. Would you like to pose any questions? Do you have any clarifications to seek from you? If that is the case, you are most welcome, or else I will move forward, please.
Sir, one question at YouTube. If you could permit, we can take, sir.
Yes, please. Very good.
Yeah. Sir, in the context of NEP, how can the academic leadership in institution balance the autonomy granted under the policy with accountability mechanism and to ensure the quality governance in the multidisciplinary approaches and the equity in the higher education under the delivery?
Look, there are several questions that have been posed. If I am right, it's not a clarification of one particular point, but of course they are quite interrelated to each other. You on one side you talk about the autonomy of the institutions given under NEP. Other thing is accountability. Then you got a political scenario. These are very important things and very important challenges as well. On one side, naturally, NEP does talk about autonomy given to the institutions. But on the other side, there is a political interference. In certain cases, it is definitely there, and it surely has got an impact on the overall functioning of the, we can say, organization. But my take, these are the kinds of questions that I have received earlier as well, because we talk very high about academic leaders, we talk very high about their profile, we talk about very high about their role in making the academic institutions very effective. But then, of course, they have lots of limitations to face, to counter with. And my simple take is, though myself being a head of the department and also a director of one of the centers, there are surely some kinds of pulls and pressures. And the wise man is the one who, within all these different kinds of pulls and pressures, is able to sail through. There are some which are uncontrollable. There are some which are controllable. For example, if there is any kind of intervention, and there is a way out. There is a way out. One is the persuasion. The ones who are actually trying to impose upon you something which in any case dilutes your autonomy, you have every reason and rhyme to go and talk to them and try to convince them. Then once you feel that it is not possible from my end, one, you give one chance to it, say, okay, this is something that can be done, but it cannot be done to actually impact the overall functioning of my institution. All that I'm trying to convey and say is that you have all these different kinds of challenges. You have, as a human being, as a wise person rather, I would like to say that you have to try to see that within all these challenges, how I can sail through properly. I will not that largely compromise on the very fundamentals which are a must for making my institution effective. And on the other side, I shall not reach to a level where I would be just buying the animosity of the authorities. But why do you find that my basic requirement of the institution is in any way getting compromised? Then it all depends you what moral standing you have, how strong you are on your conscientiousness, that whether you should continue with or you should say, yeah, this is not something that can be done by me. It all depends upon the kind of a circumstance or circumstances that you are actually in.
Sir, one another question, rapid question related to this one. In the NEP, pay more emphasis towards the commercialization of education, or the more autonomy to be provided to the higher education institute. But the public universities or public institutions or graduate college like us, how should we compare? How should we compare or compete with these private institutions? Because whatever may be the infrastructure, government has constant grants of the for particular infrastructure, and only paying the salaries grant. And in this scenario, our institution is located in the such kind of rural and the focus area, where we are serving for the rural, particularly the rural and the tribal students, those who are from socio-economic background, diverse background. So in such scenario, how can institution, public institution, can sustain in competition with this private institution, those have the large number of fundings?
Let me tell you one thing, that again is a similar question that you have, I can say, raised earlier as well. You know that the ones who are socially very backward kind of a class, or socially backward, economically backward, they will still fall, I can say, back onto these kinds of institutions that you're talking about. So they will not go to those private institutions which will charge them with heavily. So naturally, I don't think that is the competition as such. That is a competition in big metropolitan cities and states, where you have naturally a student has got a choice. His social economic background is very strong, and he has a choice to make whether to go to a government or to go a private institution. In that scenario, in that particular case, yes, of course, the government institutions have to come forward. They have to compete with the private ones, and they have to surely bring some, I can say, drastic, genuine kinds of changes in their internal governance. Rest in the cases of the rural areas where we have got socially or economically, I can say, very different kind of people to be in our institution. In that case, you won't, I suppose, have any kind of a challenge, because they will go and they will surely join and get admission in your institution alone, not in any other kind of institution, because of their background that they are holding. That is not. But yes, of course, as we say, that if it is a case in any metropolitan a city or a state, then of course there is a problem. Their internal governance, they have to do it very properly. They have to just gauge how things are moving, how challenging it is becoming, how best we can provide, how accountable we are to the profession that we belong to. Or it's a responsibility of all. So one way understanding it is that this is where a leader's role comes in, his vision, his understanding that where if we, for example, not able to compete with the private institutions, there's a huge commercialization of the education. So we are not able to compete with, there will be a time when there will be no students coming to our institutions. This is in fact in certain cases happening this time as well. Very less number of students. Those who used to come, there used to be a huge number of students, seeking admission for various PG programs, for various UG programs, but the number has drastically come down. Possibility is there. There are, private institutions, they are providing very quality kind of education. And so a competition is an awakening call for us that unless and until we make some drastic changes, we become more innovative and more creative, try to come up with courses which are market-driven courses, we won't be able to sustain the kind of a competition that we have otherwise.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, there are no more questions. So, if you could permit, shall we conclude, sir, this session because we have to go for the next session? If you could permit.
Thank you very much. Yes. So nice of you all for giving me a chance to interact with your students, with your participants.
Thank you, Professor Nazir sir, for such a wonderful session towards this academic leadership. In the recent era, many of the institutions are having some more the challenges in terms of funding, in terms of student enrollment and the infrastructure enhancement. But definitely, sir, whatever maybe the Guru Mantra you have provided through this session, we will inculcate in ourselves as well as in our institution, and it will be really helpful for us to upliftment of our students, of our society, of our students, and the region where we are, sir. So we are really thankful to you, sir, for such a wonderful and insightful session. And I once again extend my sincere thanks for your thought-provoking session and precise time providing here to this academic fraternity. With this consent, I extend once again extend my sincere thanks, and with the kind consent of Professor Nazir, sir, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Hello, Professor Vithai Rajan, sir. Vithai Rajan, sir. Hello, Professor Vithai Rajan, sir. Participants, we will continue for our next. Rajan, sir. Hello, Professor Vithai Rajan, sir.
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah, sir. Whether we are audible to you, sir, very clearly.
Yes, I am audible. What about my voice?
Yeah, sir. Your voice is very much clear, sir. Very good. Very good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Start.
Shall we start, sir, if you could permit?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah, so friends, a very good afternoon to one and all once again. As I have already told you that today we will specifically discuss on these themes of theme of academic leadership, governance and the management. First session we have almost completed with the help of Professor Nazir sir, and now we are moving towards the another part of the second part of the today's session. with the help of one renowned, scholarly and eminent expert, Professor C. Rajan sir. So first of all, sir, we welcome, we warmly welcome you to this flagship program and particular to this session at Sant Garge Baba Amravati University, Malvi Mission Teacher Training Center. Friends, we are luckily fortunate to getting such kind of eminent personality in the today's both session. Professor Vethi Rajan sir, C. Vethi Rajan sir is at present serving as a senior professor and the head in the Department of Corporate Secretaryship. He was the Dean of the Student Affair and the Chairperson of the School of Management at the Algappa University situated in the Tamil Nadu. Over a period of 3 decades in the teaching as well as the research, sir has served in the several positions, like as the member of the Senate, then the Dean of the Student Affairs. He was also the Finance and Accounts Officer. He is the member of the Standing Committee on the Academic Affairs. He was the chairman of the Board of Studies for the MBA Cooperative Secretaryship. He was the chairman of the Student Grievance Redressal Committee also. He is the member of the Anti-Ragging Squad also. He was the director at the Algappa Institute of Skill Development at the Algappa University, and he was the academic counselor also. And he is the nodal officer of the NPS and scholarship and fellowship also, which is released by the various ministries. He is the member of the RAC Research Advisory Committee. Sir has under his spanning period of 30 years, he has completed more than 6 major research projects. A couple of projects are ongoing whose values is more than 1 CR. Sir as recipient of the most of the award, that couple of awards is the best doctoral researcher award awarded by the Archer and the Elevator Publishing House, and MTC Global Distinguished Teacher Award, Management MTC Global at the Bangalore. Then after the AURF Algappa Excellence Award for the research, then after the Bharat Jyoti Award, that is India International Friendship Society. Then the UGC Research Awardee by the University Grants Commission, Global Lifetime Achievement Award by the Siddhartha Educational Research Federation, Quality Enhancement in Teaching and Research Award by the Algappa University, Adarsh Vidya Saraswati Rashtriya Puraskar, that is a national award in 2022 by the Global Management Council at the Ahmedabad, Best Presenter Award and Best Faculty Award in 2023 by the Indian Research Association, Swachhata Pakwara Puraskar, and then after the Academic and the Research Excellence Award in 2024 at the Algappa University. Who has arranged and organized various conferences, workshops and seminars, being the convener and the coordinator. He has chaired many of sessions in the conferences and the international conferences and the regional conferences as the chairman. He was also engaging with the entrepreneurship awareness program. He was the chairperson of the many of the sessions as well as the keynote speaker at the different national as well as the international journal. He was associated with the different institutions and the universities, not only in India but also in the abroad, and visited and spared his valuable precious time with the different universities in the abroad, like in the Singapore for the conferences and sharing his expertise. Under his able guidance, 18 research scholars have been completed their PhD degree, and right now 8 students are still working on under his able guidance. There are more than 150 research articles on his credit, which is published in the reputed national as well as the international journal. So friends, this is a brief introduction with regards to Professor Vethi Rajan sir. We are luckily fortunate to get such kind of eminent and diverse personality who has worked in the different background, like is the student since from the teaching learning to the student affairs to the engagement in the student affairs. So sir has a vast knowledge of this entire education system since from inception to outgoing, that is the graduation outcome. So we are luckily fortunate to get such kind of eminent personality. Sir, I once again extend my warm welcome to you, and now may I request you to please start with your session. Sir, please.
Thank you very much. This was a brief introduction about me, Professor Muhammad Idik, the Director, University Grant Commission, Malawiya Mission Teacher Training Center, Sand Girls Baba, Amravati University, Amravati, and my respected that fellow colleagues, and then I mean the member of that academicians from the various institutions and colleges and universities. Thank you very much for that giving this opportunity for that NEP 2020 that is for UTC sponsored NEP orientation and sensitization program. That for 2 weeks program. Then I it's really happy to share and participate as a resource person for this academic leadership and governance. And we were sharing of that my knowledge for academic governance and leadership because we are I am this position of that I mean governance corporate governance and corporate social responsibility as well as the leadership. See this which forums really is to fantastic and wonderful for inspiring for the faculty colleagues nowadays because everybody should be a leader. From that Kashmir to and Kanyakumari, irrespective of the people, for either maybe for politician or maybe for organization, or it may be for any other social perspective or social sector, or maybe for industrial sector, that leadership capacity is most vibrant and very much useful for followers or the juniors. So in that perspective, some of the key stakeholders of this system for inspiring for the stakeholders and the vision of the stakeholders and mission of the stakeholders and innovation promotion of the members and faculty mentorship. When you look into for this academic year, that we have a pyramid system, the leadership capacity and the best practices. All two things are more important pillars of driving the educational institutions. Normally, the good governance, we are talking about good governance, not only for this bureaucratic necessity.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Can you please share your presentation, sir?
I see, but it's required that I will send it.
Yes, sir. Now it is visible. No, sir. No. Yes, now it is visible, sir. Please make it in a PowerPoint mode. So
Yeah. Okay. The PowerPoint only for that subjecting alone. I have to present for this entire lesson. So we'll move for introduction that academic leadership and academic governance. So academic leadership, this and the governance, both two pillars of the driving this educational institutions. The good governance is not merely for bureaucratic necessity. It is the backbone of this ensure that quality, innovation, and institutional reputations. Now, what's the process, directors for my introduction, occupy this team, students affair and finance officer also. Right now, account general audit, age audit for this forenoon up to 20 days. I have to, wholly engage to this for that academic audit for entire university accounts, finance and accounts. So whatever the that projections for accounting aspects, then we have to be disclosed the transparency manner from that to 2021 to 2023 to 24. 4 years financial year period. We have to be because the leaders should be forced to drive this vision and inspire individual as well as to motivate this academic community to strive for excellence. So, as a leader of that academic institution, it must be on this. It's a boss. We have some vision. We have some vision. So we should inspire this motivation, inspire this individual motivations for the academic community will strive for this excellence more. So this is most important. Whereas in governance, on the other hand, ensure that the vision implemented systematically, ethically, and sustainably. So what are the things which required? What is based on that that kind of inspiration is important for us. But that every decision taken at a university has a long-term consequences. For example, in our Tamil Nadu government, they are facing for the financial crisis exclusively for that state universities. That they should have every university should have some mission and vision. So the long and also long-term goals. So based on that, that as a leader should have the position and how they are going to take a decision. That is important. As well as at the same time for governance. So the governance most important. The good governance that means best practices and transparency and looking for each and every aspect. Then only you have to looking for that because that leadership without governance can lead to echoes. Choice. So while governance without leadership can result in stagnations. So two things, leadership and governance is most important pillar for the development of the any institution, not only for education, any institutions. Then move for that the leadership and governance act as a system, but economic institution. Well, this but we are going to already we faced the NAC accreditation. Our university, Alagappa University, faced the fourth NAC accreditation. Now we got A plus plus. GGB score 3.59 under 12 mode categories for distance mode as well as the academic mode. So this is the first state university we secured 3.59 for 12 mode category. So then town plus category university. So this is for 40 years of running of institutions. That in MBA we have 8 departments. For this Qatar departments, for this director, the dean of the faculties. So this is the system we have to be implement. And your system, all others should be followers. So this that economic leadership always looking for this that inspiring stakeholders, vision setting, innovation promotions, faculty mentorship, inspiring stakeholders. So the inspiring stakeholders who are that academic leaderships involves, there is a faculty and students and staff are motivated to achieve these institutional goals. So this is for inspiring stakeholders. Then vision setting, leaders foresee future trends or in education and research, adopting the politics accordingly. That innovation promotion, so leader encourages these experimentations in teaching methods, research approaches, and institutional structures. So this is for innovation promotions. And faculty mentorship, leaders guide faculty in professional developments, research initiatives in and cooperative uh, projects. So this is the case of that academic leadership. Then move for next academic governance. So the academic governance refers to the structure, policies, mechanisms, and regulate the decision making. So it includes everything from this board level decisions on budget to department policies on teaching and evaluations. So the governance ensures that all decisions are transparent, fair, and in alignment with this institutional objectives and regulation requirements. Number one will take first one decision making authorities. So under decision making authority is a core of the academic governance. So defining who has the power to make critical institutional decisions. In higher education, Vice Chancellor is the chairman of the decision makers. And then based on this, university bylaws, that is rules and statute in ordinance, that among the member of the syndicates, and that the syndicates as well as member of the Senate. Now, among these the forceful persons, these members of the syndicate along with the Vice Chancellor will take this decision. So in a critical position, the critical issues are taking place, then who is the authority to given for the solutions from the problems. So this is maybe for any maybe for either maybe for anyone faculty are teaching or non-teaching or maybe for having such kind of unethical practices. Who is going to responsible for that? And then based on the case by case, it may be for allegations or misappropriation of funds or illegal activities based on the case, then constitute a committee with the guestship of the Vice Chancellor and all other members of the syndicates. Then finally they have to be desire this authority is a Vice Chancellor by giving that solutions. So this is the decision making authority of this government. So next, budget approval. So finance committee. So when in our state university or any other university, finance committee convenes two times. One is the month of August or September. Another is the month of that is called August, September, and March or February or March. One is for financial accounts or approval. Another one is budget proposal. So two things, and that finance officer is the member secretary and vice chancellor is the chairman. Then finance secretary, state government finance secretary, IAS, and finance, and then educational secretary as a member from the IAS. From that, along with the member of the syndicate, they constitute a committee. Then you have to present for annual accounts in front of all the members. So this is the budget preparations. Then budget approval by these all the members. This is may conducted for that the month of what is called March or February or March. Whereas the budget proposal, whereas the annual accounts are submitted for ensuing maybe properly the coming Friday. We are going to submit the accounts, getting approvals. I am the finance officer, then I have to present elaborately for that asset and liabilities and income and expenditure accounts. Then what are the expenditure and involved, what are the funds position. So in elaborate discuss along with the trial balance in dual aspect concepts, accrual based concepts, evidence system concepts, then you have to submit the accounts. So this is the that either there are different funds for corpus fund, surplus fund, earmarked funds, infrastructure facilities and project funds, and then state government fund, central government funds. Now is now the AG audit came to our university for verifying, checking vouchers and documentations from that based on that financial years. Then the construction may be taking place and the machineries are bought. I guess science department, chemical and all other items, machineries are purchased, procured. What is the policy of getting of approval? There are different categories based on the receipts or earning or capacity of the institutions, the capacity of the university, earning university. So there are different categories: category 1, category 2, category 3. So this is most important for every institution, every higher education institution. They have to play a major role with the help of the vice chancellor. So this is considered that curriculum approval. So friends, sir, this is our university, Arapa University in Tamil Nadu. We have a broad-based board of studies. So the expert from the foreign countries. So that once in 3 years we convene a meeting and to revise the curriculum. So based on the curriculum that foreign expert and other university dean faculty management and some other university faculty management along with the members and the industrial expert and then entrepreneur and alumni, students alumni. So constitute a committee. Then you have to looking for industry people also. That curriculum it should be on employment oriented as well as the industry institution cooperation oriented. The need based curriculum. The most important need based employment curriculum. Need based placement curriculum. Then you have to frame it. Head of department or dean as the chairman of that curriculum. Based that curriculum that may be for finally approved by the standing committee and academic affairs. Then that committee then again to be placed for syndicate. So this is the system we should have to follow for academic council. Some university academic council and our university for senate. Then all senate members that will be in this forum. That department to place the forum for getting approval. So this is the system for our university setup, not only for our university, Tamil Nadu higher education system. All these things play a major role. So at least 30 to 40% that content should be revised for each and every course. So we are talking about the course means paper or subject. That every program they have a different courses and then credit and then credit and hours. Total credit should not exceed that 1 or 2 credits. Then we have different core papers and we have a different categories. That is called core paper and NME, non-major elective and discipline specific elective as well as the then specific elective. So there is different categories they have to be framed syllabus. Then faculty appointments. So this faculty appointment, we have to see looking for that recruitment, promotions, and tenure decision involve multiple levels. Faculty appointment. Now, what will happen in Tamil Nadu government? Initial position of the teaching position, assistant professor is, that position through the recruited through the TRP, Teachers Recruitment Board. The rest of the high level position, associate professor as well as the professor and senior professor only from that university itself. Likewise, in non-teaching position, the initial position on junior assistant may be for recruited through TNPC, Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission. Rest of the higher posters may be appointed either direct or by way of promotions by the university itself. So this is a faculty appointment nowadays. It should be based on UGC regulations. Everything should be based on the UGC regulations. So that is most important for us. We go next. Academic governance. This policy environment. Come to this policy environment, we are looking for this in different positions. That is policy environment ensure this institutional rules and standard are implemented consistently across the academic and administrative areas. So this is policy environment. What's the policy? This now we are having model policies. Model policies is framed by the state government of Tamil Nadu. There are 12 agenda. Coming Friday, we are going to place the finance committee for getting approval. That what is called number one to consider and approve for that the procurements, purchase procurement of procurement and printing of answer booklet and question papers. They have given for that guidelines for RBI as well as the TNPC empanel list, which companies are really for recognized and accepted by that RBI or TNPC. Alone they are going to getting a permission and printing either answer booklet or question paper. Then procurement of items. There are different categories for either maybe tender or quotation. What is that capacity of authorities, vice chancellor, registrar, controller of examination, teams, finance officer, authorities for capacity to for signing authority, for using of the check power, as well as the for the purchase. For example, in purchase value maybe for up to 5,000. No, that is no need for any quotation. You go for direct purchase and some disturbance. Professor Muhammad, some disturbance. Some disturbance coming up. Other please mute. Then you see this academic evaluations or these things for this policies governing for grading, that assessment method, the examination process to maintain uniformity and fairness. So this academic evaluation that students will appear for the examination, payment examination for internal as well as external. For total 100 marks, 25 marks for internal and 20 marks for external. So this is the evaluation systems. Then we have to see for this purpose for assessment methods, then we have to assessing the students for different categories. For 25 marks for internal assessment. So this is the system we have to be followed for the entire Tamil Nadu. Assignment, seminar, and then continuous single assessment test. Then for research ethics, so ethical standard guide and faculty and research students prevent in this plagiarism and misconduct or conflict of interest. So this is the paper is required for a Scopus indexed journal, or it may be for the Web of Science journal. Citations is most important. Social science citation for us, for management and commerce and arts. Social science citation alone the eligible as a scholar to submit the thesis. So that is the policy making by these research aspects. Then faculty performance. So the transparency appraisal system for faculty performance, very well system to evaluate teaching quality, research output, and service contributions, motivating and excellence and accountability. So accountability also most important, as well as for motivating excellence also important for faculty performance. The faculty must be attend for online programs, and for refresher course or orientation program for that levels, each level. The faculty enter into initial stage as assistant professor. Then after a period of 5 years, 6 years, they have to fulfill the other norms. For example, faculty may fulfill for the orientation program, refresher course program. Then we have to publish the papers, their contribution, credential contributions, and writing the textbooks, and then some other assignments, extra assignments given by the university. So this is the added then classroom teaching methods and the evaluation methods. How many hours for taking classes like this? Faculty performance of the individuals to faculty. So all these things are done together. Then for CS promotions, career advancement promotion, it will be more useful for the faculty. Then move for the next agenda. Regulatory compliance. So academic governance must ensure adherence to external and internal regulations to maintain accreditability and legal standing. So regulatory compliance, so ethical compliance most important, as well as the accreditation standards, government regulations, institutional bylaws. For example, in accreditation standards, so compliance with the national and international accreditations bodies. For example, NAC to ensure the programs to meet the quality benchmark. So, Sashnavi, I spoke to you for the NAC accreditation process. So, National Assessment and Accreditation Council. So, for ONCIAN, we secured previously 3.64, but A plus. That's score. Then it will be we have enjoyed the benefit for 7 years. 7 years programs. ஆன்லைன் மீட்டிங்ல இருங்க 4:30 வரைக்கும் இருக்கும். ஏதாவது அச்சனை பொண்ணா கொடுக்க சொல்லுங்க டிபார்ட்மெண்ட். ஆமா. So this is the system we have to making of that concepts for adopting for that the regulations. Academic governance must ensure adherence to external and internal regulation to maintain creditability and legal standards. So now we are getting for A plus plus, then we are going to enjoy for 7 years. Academic standard in terms of 7 parameters. 7 parameters. So teaching methodology as well as the evaluation, learning evaluation process, students council, then infrastructure facilities, then alumni. So there are 7 parameters. Alumni meet, alumni contributions. So irrespective of that, students council, alumni and research, most important research publications, teaching learning. So there are 7 parameters. Method of teaching. So we have to secure 4 marks. Out of the students council, we have secured 4 out of 3.994. So because of the accreditation, for irrespective of the 7 parameters, entire university, So our university got very good score because of that green campus, Switch Bharat campus and YRC, Indian Red Cross Society and all other extra NSS and NCC. Then our university is a very good atmosphere, infrastructure, exclusive for physical college of physical education, college of education. There are several playgrounds, more than 13 playgrounds, or courses I have to do. Shareable were 40. So government regulation moved to next. University must also this follow laws related to higher education. Even our we have got that based on the NEP 2020. So based on that that majority of the things we have to follow for 2020 NEP new education policy also. So government regulations like this, institutional bylaws. Our institutional bylaws is a very strong position that what's the role of the vice chancellor, what's the role of the registrar, what's the role of the control examination, finance officer, number of the syndicates, senate, and heads of the department, deans, what is the role played by this. So that is the regulatory compliances. So this is the mechanism for we are following for the system. Then moves to for importance of effective governance. So another important thing for that importance of effective governance is vital institutional sustainability, reputation, and academic excellence. Number one, prevent mismanagement and ensure fairness, strengthen institutional reputations, then promote strategic growth and build stakeholder trust. So, friends, we move for preventive mismanagement. So we have a proper guidelines, proper authorities, and clear policies, and reduce the financial, administrative, and operational errors. So we have to minimize the errors because we should to follow the bylaws, governance, good governance. So because of that, we have a system who is responsible for that particular one. Whether the students, the faculty members, they have to apply for advance for conferences or seminars. But then this one that proposal budget, the university authority to arrange to provide for advance money. So over the period of 10 days or 15 days after the program, they submit the entire prints with the GST. Okay, that if there is a excess money, they have to be claimed, or that money, excess money was spent by the individual, the coordinator or director of this particular event, then you have to be claimed, possible claim, or maybe for money, maybe for that not the excess money. Within this money, the excess money in his hand, then you have to be, deposited for that university account. So this is the system we should follow for that. And that is for totally to eradicate all these issues. Ensures fairness. So transparent decision making, policy enforcement, project faculty, staff, and students from bias or favoritism. That is for ensure fairness. That is a governance. So everything should be open and transparent. Everything should be open and transparent. So decision making and policy enforcement to protect the faculty, staff, and students from bias or favoritism. So this is we have to be looking for this. Strengthen institutional reputation. So creditable governance and attract talented faculty members, students, and funding for changing for national and global recognition. Strengthen institutional reputation. That Arapa University A++ university, the university got very good reputation in Tamil Nadu as well as India. We have a RUSA grant 100 crores and infrastructure facility. We have a separate skill development center. Then we have a separate IPR center, incubation center. There are different centers effectively functioning. The reputation of the Arapa University. More than 6,000 students are studying and more research oriented. Every year we are contributing for papers and high H index position, high level H index citations also. So it's a reputation of the organization. The funding for TST as well as the ICSR or CRM, whatever may be for that in science domain, they got that funding position. and that for they have to provide and enjoy these infrastructure facilities and in the form of paper publication in a very good reputation of paper, Harapan should be flourishing. Then promote strategic growth. So the governance provides a framework for long-term planning, innovation, and responsiveness to changing education and societal needs. So promote strategic growth. For many of the students in our university were rural background. Once you have got this degree for either UG or post graduation, their families, society of standard of living should be improved because of they maybe forget the job employment opportunity and the living of the standards should be super. Then build stakeholder trusts. So stakeholder trust is most important for that effective governance. That faculty, students, parents, donors, and government bodies are more likely to support by institution and transparent, accountable and governance practices. So these are the effective governance. Significance in higher education. So effective academic leadership and governance critical for universities and colleges because they influence every aspects of institutional performance. Their significance can be understood from the multiple perspective. Number one, ensuring academic integrity, protecting institutional autonomy, enhancing efficiency and accountability, boosting reputation and ranking, strengthening stakeholder confidence, facilitating innovation and social impact. So this is the for higher education significance. Ensure academic integrity. So this strict anti-plagiarism, software and research ethics, boards in universities like Stanford and Harvard ensure this credibility of scholarly output. So in our university, for clear rules, prevent plagiarism, fraud, and unethical practice. I am the Dean Students Affairs, so we have a committee, constitutional committee for anti-ragging awareness committee, and then internal, complaints committee, and then prevention of harassment cell. So we have a different committee. I am the chairperson of the internal complaints committee. So and also for nodal officer for that scholarship. So it will create a very good atmosphere for the students as well as the entire campus. So this academic integrity for all of us. They move for protecting institutional autonomy. So this is governance safeguard institutional from this undue external pressures. Then while ensuring this compliance with the national regulations. If you say that regulating autonomy is every department we have a autonomy system. So department we have a different four faculties: faculty of management, faculty of science, faculty of arts, and faculty of education. Each faculty are deans. So that each faculty has different department. Each department has their own autonomy. There are department they have to be provides all the autonomy system to individual faculty members also. The distribution of work to each and every individual. So this is the system we have to engage. Then enhancing efficiency and accountability. So that ERP, enterprise resource planning system and online administrative portal at this university, that every university, we have online admission, online evaluation, enhance efficiency and accountability. We have online evaluation and online administration, and then you have the students are same. We have to any grievances or anything, you have to put in this portal. Then we are looking for entire system, this online portals, efficiency and accountability. Institutions that operate under clear accountability frameworks for reduce the wastage of resources and improve the operational efficiency. So everything should be in a clear accountability frameworks that institution that reduce the wastages. Governance consumes the transparent decision making in this area of higher budget allocations also. So this is for the boosting reputation and ranking. So university for that the rank. Now that the NRF ranking for this RFA University for 14th rank, and in Tamil Nadu government Among these 22 universities, we got second position. So this is system we have to encourage our students as well as the faculty members for strong in nature to work on that. Everything should be on good leadership and governance. So this is excellent topic, academic governance and practices, academic leadership and governance. So boosting reputation and ranking system. Then strengthening stakeholder confidence. So how the strengthens stakeholder confidence? The leadership practice built trust among the donors, students, and regulators, strengthening stakeholders' confidence. Who are the stakeholders of the university? That is, department, faculty members, students, teaching, non-teaching, administrative authorities, and then all the payers, administrative, university officials. All of them are stakeholders. They have providing for the confidence because of the very good leader. The leader, how the leaders to behave, and only for the entire system should be understood. So this for first example, Alaga University, facilitating innovation and social impact. So this university will promote teaching and cooperation with the industry to translate knowledge into practical solutions. So strong leadership and governance encourage the research. Strong leadership and governance encourage the research, encourage the research and interdisciplinary projects and community outreach initiatives. So this is most important. So strong leadership and governance encourage research, interdisciplinary projects, and community outreach institutes. Then university become center of knowledge. University becomes center of knowledge creation that address societal, technological, and environmental challenges. Societal, technological, and environmental challenges. So this is for facilitating innovation impact of research. Next, move to next. Importance of academic leadership. Importance of academic leadership. So this academic leadership is another important post for strategic direction. That academic leadership play a central role in shaping the vision, culture, and performance of education institution. Its importance can be understood across multiple dimensions. Number one, strategic direction, faculty development, student success and engagement, innovation and research ecosystem, building institutional culture, external relation and global engagement. So this is a strategic direction. We have a different policies, visionary planning, policy formulation, research management, resource management, etc., etc. So this is development or interdisciplinary programs. So we are a department, we are offering non-major elective program. So non-major elective program, other department they come and study the our course. For example, goods and service tax (GST) we are offering for second semester for non-major elective program. Then we are offering for third semester intellectual property rights. Other students are come and join ethics, business ethics also. So this is the strategic direction of the department to post our things. So visionary planning. So academic leaders defines long-term objectives of this institution and align resource accordingly. So every leader should have a vision and mission. 2040 in India may become a very big developed nation. So accordingly, so because of the Viksit Bharat, the Union government and the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, they have a vision for that 2040 Viksit Bharat. I also to organize the international conference Viksit Bharat, Sustainable Development Business Goals, Strategic Development Business Goals. We organized international conference for 2 days. Viksit Bharat 2047. Sorry, 2047. 2047. So this is the visionary. Every leader should have some visionary. Likewise, academic leadership that vice chancellor for every university for vision. How many departments were operated, how many papers are published in corpus index, citation, then research funding, cooperative programs, cooperative project, how many cooperative project we got it, and interdisciplinary research, how many projects we have to receive from the funding agencies, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, and then ICSSR and UGC, etc., funding agencies. So this is a strategic direction. Faculty development program, you know very well that we say that faculty development program often grants obstacles and research opportunities, training and mentorship, research promotion, recognition and motivation. Recognition and motivation. So this is faculty program we have done. Then student success and engagement. We have different active learning, participatory governance, holistic support. So academic leaders implement system for academic guidance and mental health support and career counseling. So this is system we have applying for every aspects of the system, then adapting for the student success engagement system. Then innovation research ecosystem. So academic leader encourage the culture of inquiry, interdisciplinary project and partnership with industries. They seek funding, build a research lab and promote publications in high impact journals. So this is a institutional culture, your system, and then we have to for conducting for this research and also. So external relations and global engagement, that partnership development, and we have to see for brand building and alumni relations, and all these things comes under this category of this system. The principles of good governance, good academic governance, transparency. This is normal. This transparency, accountability, participation, and inclusivity, autonomy, and also to ethical leadership. So this transparency, everybody should have a good corporate governance, like good academic governance. Stability, a clear principles that ensure fairness, transparency, accountability, inclusivity, autonomy, all these things for continuous quality improvements. Things comes under this categories. Number one, transparency. So the open decision making, accessible information, the impact on trust, all these things comes under this. For example, in this university implemented for digital examining system. Our Alap University has implemented a digital evaluation examination system. So allowing students to track the progress of evaluation. Suppose if you are getting for genuine certificate, you can apply for online portal, genuine certificate. So it will be because it is increased to trust and satisfaction. So this is the transparency system. Then accountability of every organization. So universities for that accountability, annual performance reports highlighting faculty research output, then students' outcome, and financial allocation, promoting institutional accountability. All these things comes under this category. That is called accountability. Then participation and inclusivity. So participation and inclusivity of this university shared good governance model, inclusive equal representation from faculty, students, administrators, enhancing cooperation and decision quality. Then autonomy. Autonomy, another important thing is governance enable to rapid, curriculum innovation. Autonomy system. Rapid curriculum innovation, we have autonomy. Every department have a, because in this faculty management, 8 departments. Every department should have a individual autonomy for its curriculum preparation and curriculum innovations. In AI, artificial intelligence and robotics, keeping at this forefront of global education. Artificial, artificial intelligence, then robotics, and then machine learning, deep learning, virtual reality, augmented realities, all these things. What you call then they have to looking for that technological keeping at this forefront of global education. So the ethical leadership, next ethical leadership, practice a transparent resource allocations, attracting international faculty and donors. Our university may some of the international students are for studying this program, exclusive for science faculty. That integrity and sustainability, social responsibility, leader must consider for social impact of policies and research and also for institutional projects. continuous quality improvements. So internal quality assurance, feedback loops. Then we have to looking for that what is say that benchmarks, that universities continuous benchmark for maintaining teaching excellence, excellence and research input, because science department as well as management department have excellent research engagements. The model, next model of academic governance. So this every organization they have different model, collegial model, therapeutic model, corporate or managerial model, shared governance, adaptive and participative model. There are different models. Like if organization behavior, there are different models. Like this model has to be every model is challenging one. Either this may be collegial model or therapeutic or a autocratic model. It depends upon the institution, but superior is a topmost position and the subordinate should follow. Collegial model, all the faculty members are maybe by join together and take a decision. Shared governance is most another important aspect. Then corporate model, this is another good model because there's characteristics and advantages or challenges. So the corporate governance principle to manage the finances and strategic growth of how you the effective utilization of the finances, effective utilization of resources and achieve this with the target and goals. So this is adaptive and participative model, that's emerging models. So this model may be for online task force system and analytics for real-time governance decision. Online task force system that culmination all the information in task force, then you have to the vertical or horizontal, then you are looking for the system like this. But move for next. The roles of key stakeholders on the governing board, vice chancellor, president, dean, head of department, and students, administrators. This is no need for that much of time to move for this. Challenges in academic leadership and governance. So this is a challenge. The academic leaders and governance face numerous challenges in this today complex and rapidly evolving higher education environment. Understanding these challenges is crucial to developing these effective strategies for overcoming. So this is the resource limitations, bureaucratic delays, balancing autonomy and regulation, global pressures, and resistant to change. So see, another important things for that. So resource limitation. Many institutions face funding shortage, then leading to outdated infrastructure, limited resources and opportunities, and because challenges. Because in Tamil Nadu, many of the universities for funding, lacking of fundings. They are not maintaining in proper methods. Even given for salary also, they are very difficult to discuss. Very poor in financial system. So this system, many institutions facing funding shortages. Maybe for unnecessarily for construction building and operating not in a position to, and the students behaviorism and all, and very poor management in financial systems. So therefore they are facing many challenges. So in Alapur University, very good fund position, no doubt of it. Then bureaucratic delays. That excessive paperwork and slow approval processes, and hidden timely curriculum reform and hiring decisions. So bureaucratic delay. So excessive paperwork as well as the slow implementations, the impact on stakeholders. Then so because the university faced long delay in exam result declaration before introducing digital evaluation. So our university, no doubt of it, digital evaluation system. Then after examinations over within a week or 10 days, they publish the results. But normal tendency in a state university, they are taking delay because of that excessive paperwork. Then we have committed the faculty members, very complex approval process for recruitment, as well as the curriculum changes or funding allocations. Excessive paperwork can slow down critical decision making. That is inevitable process, but even though many of times maybe for cashless transaction, but this paperwork it is need of the day, but how they're going to address for this process. Next, balancing autonomy and regulations. So too much government control stiff innovations, whereas too little little oversight can lead to quality encompasses. So excessive government council, insufficient oversight, and strategic challenges, all these things were that facing this enabling innovation. Other university with strict governance outside often the structural implementation. Other economy for taking out global pressures. The institution must complex and global challenges and pressures for this taking of driven and taking of that initiatives for that because they are facing so much of problems like this for international ranking as well as the competition for talent and curriculum standardization. So universities adopt that medium of programs and interdisciplinary research club and global partnership to stay a competitive nature, global process. The resistant to change. Resistant change, every organization should develop. Faculty staff may resist to digital transformation, curriculum redesign, or outcome-based education models. So this university for introducing for online learning platform and digital classroom requiring faculty training and change management programs. That is important. But many of them resist to change. Why should I change like this? Say old people, they have to provide for faculty resistance. So long serving faculty may resist to digital. Long serving faculty may resist to digital transformations, curriculums redesign or outcome based educational models. So this is another challenges of this. So this is effective leader address these challenges through strategic planning, stakeholder engagement, technology adoption, and continuous quality improvement is most important. The best practices for effective governance. Best practices. These are the best practices for that governance. Best practices for effective governance. Number one, strategic planning, technology-enabled governance, faculty leadership development, data-driven decision making, international cooperation, inclusive governance, continuous quality improvement, ethical leadership practices, crisis preparedness and adaptability, communication stakeholder engagement. So this is for develop long-term institutional roadmap with measurable objectives, regul- regularly reviewed for progress. So long-term vision, resource alignment, periodic reviews, and then reviews is important for that the plan should emphasize interdisciplinary research and sustainability and guiding investments and cooperation for decades. Move to next technology enabled governance. So adopt ERP, enterprise resource planning. So system online feedback mechanism as well as the digital examination processes for transparency and efficiency. So the universities introduced a digital examination and research system significantly is delay and they are already told for this best practice of technology enabled governance. This is technology enabled governance. Faculty leadership development. So this university to conduct leadership workshops for faculty, enhancing governance capacity and academic quality. Enhancing governance capacity, enhanced governance capacity and academic quality. So this is another important because training programs, mentorship, succession planning, so all these things often workshop and certifications to prepare faculty for administrative roles and decision making responsibility. This is a faculty based development is another important aspect. Best practices. Next, data-driven decision making. So, data-driven decision making for universities for users learning analytics to identify the students needing academic support and improve retention and success rates. Data-driven decisions. So, evidences, another evidence-based practices, evidence-based policies, predictive analytics, then continuous improvements. So data helps institution monitor progress towards strategic goal and redefine process for better results. So this is for data-driven decision making maybe for evidence-based policies, collecting and analyzing data on students' performance, research output, faculty productivity, and employability inform policy formulation. All these things is most important data-driven decision making. Then international cooperation. You see, another important best practices. The collaborative with foreign universities on joint research, faculty exchange program, curriculum. We are MOE with the University of Sri Lanka, that is called the Southeastern University, Samarthi, Paternus University. We have MOE with this for faculty and students exchange program. So this is the international cooperation, the global partnership as well as the curriculum benchmarking. We invited a faculty process from foreign country for curriculum development, curriculum design. So this is another important best practices for effective governances. So this university for institutions across that maybe for joint research and faculty exchange program, this is another effective governance systems. Then inclusive governance. So inclusive governance, the students and the faculty representatives in governance board to ensure participatory decision making. So student and faculty representatives in governance board to ensure, because this is inclusive governance, we have students council. Then students council also to contribute some more by representation to all stakeholders. That is called students, faculty, staff, and external expert, all these things for decision making activities. So next move to continuous quality improvements. So this is continuous quality improvement, that is IQs, internal quality assurance cell. So regulator, monitor, and teaching, research, and administrative process ensure continuing and consistent quality systems. So this is another important aspect of system of every organization should high level quality systems. Then move for next ethical leadership practices. So this is the university for a transparent report on finances, faculty appointment, and student outcomes, building credibility and stakeholder trust. So all these things comes under this continuous quality assessment as well as the ethical leadership practices, integrity in decisions, social responsibilities, transparency. So this is for what is called ethical leadership practices we have done. Then crisis preparedness and adaptability. So this is the universities are globally rapidly implemented online learning and digital examination ensure minimal disruption in academic programs. So crisis preparedness. So in online program, we are offering online program through distance mode education. Students are really happy for listening that faculty that online programs. So this is another part, because adaptive leadership, risk management plans, then resilience building, all these things comes in this category. Then communication and stakeholder engagement. So this is another important best practices for communication organization, regular town calls with the faculty and students to discuss policy changes and gather feedback. So the regular updates, feedback mechanisms. Feedback mechanism is another important strengthen of the best practices. The feedback mechanism engaging students, faculty, staff in discussion will strengthen policy and policy acceptance. Transparency is another important thing in conflict resolution. So if there's any conflict, then with transparency system, the clear communications reduce the misunderstanding and resolve disrupt effectively. So this is another important piece of this practices. Some of the case studies of some of the university, need for that foreign universities. No need, I think so, Melbourne University, but for example, in Melbourne University, so Melbourne University background, the Melbourne University is one of the Australia top ranked institution known as academic excellence and global cooperation. That's one that things. So problems identified, rapid internationalization created challenges in maintaining quality standard across diverse programs and campuses. Then solution implemented. So central quality frameworks and the faculty development program, global alliances, and outcome based for that improved consistency in teaching and quality across campuses, increase the international student enrollment by 20%, strengthen the university reputation as a global education hub. And key learning, consistent quality assurance and global cooperation and critical governance in internationally focused systems. This comes under this our part National Education Policy NEP 2020, vision and objectives of National Educational Policy. Then we are looking for that system. That the school education as well as the higher education, digital and online education, because the national education policy NEP for 2020 is a landmark reform approved by the government of India, replacing the 1986 policy after more than 3 decades. It the vision and transforming India into this equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing higher quality education to all. That is the ultimate purpose and objective. The NEP 2020 emphasizes access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability aligned India education system with global standard while preserving Indian value and culture. Then move for next for that vision and objectives I need that universal access achieve 100% cross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030 and rise GER cross enrollment ratio in higher education to 50% by 2035. The holistic development create well-rooted individuals with intellectuals, ethical, and social competencies. And global leadership make India a global cup of knowledge and innovation, equity and inclusion. Flexibility. The flexibility provides the students with multiple facilities system, excessive part of the system. That is a system we have to. And key features of NEP, school education, higher education. So this the curriculum which is based on 5+3+4 curriculum structures, focus on fundamental literacy and numeracy, the skill development, coding, vocational courses, experimental learning from early classes, holistic report cards, higher education, multidisciplinary approach, fleshing out single stream institutions allow this. The multiple entry exit options, students receive certificate, diploma, degree based on the stage at which they exit. Academic Bank of Credit, APC, Academic Bank of Credit, APC, Academic Bank of Credit, digital storage, credit to facilitate notability across institutions. Then research and innovation, establishment of National Research Foundation, NRF, to fund high quality research, institutional restructuring, research universities, teaching universities, autonomous degree grading colleges, teacher education, 4-year integrated period and become minimum qualification by 2030. Digital and online education. So National Educational Technology, National Educational Technology Forum, then for use of AI, VR, virtual reality, digital tools in education, online platform education, Diksha and virtual labs, digital inclusion, special initiatives for rural areas, and economically weaker students, governance and regulations. So this is the single regulator, Higher Education for Education Commission of India will replace multiple regulators except for medical and legal education. Transparent self-disclosure, institution to publicly disclose compliance data ensuring accountability. Accreditation, all higher education institutions will be accredited based on the objective criteria. Merit-based leadership, transparent selection of vice chancellor, deans, director to ensure professional governance. So it's merit-based. So this is a system of The impact of NEP 2020 on students, on teachers, on institutions, and society. So, freedom of choice, reduced dropouts, better employability, and global opportunities. So, this is a very good opportunity that students are giving for that NEP programs. On teacher, professional development, empowerment, recognitions. Then mandatory or continuous professional development, and then greater academic freedom encourages creativity in teaching methods, encourages performance-based initiatives also. Institution, autonomy, improved quality, research growth, global standard. Then move for society, inclusivity, entrepreneurs culture, cultural strength, nation building. Then role of NEP in academic governance. The role of NEP 2020 in academic governance, number one, strengthen governance structures, decentralization, transparent compliance, data-driven governance, stakeholder participation. So this is most important for this academic governance, strengthen the governance structure, the clear framework of decision making and quality assurance. Decentralization, departmental and institutional autonomy allow faster implementation of reforms. Transparent compliance moves away from inspection-based regulation or self-disclosure and audits. Role of NEP in academic leadership. The visionary planning, leaders are expected to set a long-term goals, building strategy, collaboration, and align with global trends. Now, less faculty empowerment. Leader must provide opportunity for research, innovations, and leadership training. Building research ecosystem, establish incubation center, research labs, and promote publication in global journals. Student-centric leadership, create policy for mentorship, mental health, internship, and entrepreneurship support. Internationalization, facilitate student exchange programs and joint theory with foreign universities to increase the global opportunities. Leadership pipeline. NEP National Education Policy encourages the programs that prepare future deans, directors, and vice chancellors. Next. The overall outcomes. Modern, globally relevant university, skilled multidisciplinary graduates, empowered faculty and researchers, transparent, efficient governance systems. India rise as a global knowledge powerhouse by 2040, social and economic transformation. So these are the overall outcome of this NIP. Then the challenges faced by this system of so this overall outcome for this modern system, this is we have to looking for that system like the National Educational Policy 2020, that modern globally relevant universities, that is Indian higher education institutions are expected to climb global ranking and attract foreign students, positioning India as a global education. Definitely, if you follow for NEET for 2020, that the system will be adapted. Skilled multidisciplinary graduates. So students will no longer be restricted to rigid streams such as art, science, commerce. They will graduate in holistic knowledge, combining multiple disciplines, economic, data science, psychology, etc., etc. So they will create a workforce that is not only skilled but also innovative and adaptable to changing industry demands. So this is critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity will replace core mechanisms. Then empowered faculty and researchers. The teachers are this backbone of education, no doubt. NEP 2020 focus heavy on that growth. Faculty member will have receive continuous professional development as well as have the opportunity to upgrade their skills. The teachers will experience greater academic freedom, to design our courses, experiment with pedagogy, and mentor students beyond the classrooms. Transparency, efficient governance system. So this is institution for autonomy in academic, administrative, and financial decisions will encourage institution to innovate, grow faster. So merit-based leadership governance appointments will ensure decision makers are competent and visionary. That is very good, excellent. Then move for that governance will become students and teacher friendly. They focus on accountability and performance measurement. India rise a global knowledge powerhouse for 2040 definitely. India ultimate goal of 2020 leave 2020 in a position to India leader in knowledge creation, research and innovation. A strong research culture lead to technological advancements, patents and startup boosting the economy. Educated, skilled populations will play a major role in making decisions, building nation building, driving economic growth, social progress, and sustainable development. And social and economic transformations, social equity, women empowerment, economic growth, and global leadership. So these are that very strong position of this administration. Come to the conclusion. So, a strong academic leadership and transparent governance are essential for any institutions aspiring to global standards because they create a culture of excellence, accountability, innovations that prepare for students to meet the challenges of the dynamic world. Academic leadership and governance are the twin pillars that uphold the quality, integrity, and sustainability of higher education institutions. The effective leadership provides vision, inspire faculty, students, uh, as well as for that making of the integration and the sustainable higher education institutions. Vision and inspire faculty, students, and foster innovations. Robust governance ensures accountability, transparency, and adherence to standards. Together, they create a structured, flexible environment. Academic excellence flourishes. Challenges facing higher education today, such as globalization, technological disruptions, financial constraints, and then social responsibility require leaders who are visionary, adaptive. The ethical institution must balance autonomy with regulators, foster inclusivity, and embraces digital transformation to remain relevant and competitive in the increasing interconnectivity world. Thank you the opportunities for given this Professor Director, Professor Muhammad Atik and Angit Thakur from this Malaya Mission Teacher Training Institute, the child Lord's Baba Amaravati University, Amaravati, process of different faculty members on that screen portal. I am very happy to share this academic leadership and governance from margin to lead programs. This is a very much useful program for each and every participants of that. I hope that that Malagai Mission Teacher Training Center, this Amaravati University, I will give the opportunity for sharing of my views and that this information. So really, faculty members and professors on the screen are getting for some ideas about that academic leadership and governance. I have shared many of them my university experience, my 30 years of teaching research experience. I issued so many awards, even though I have to learn this something new about that NEP leadership and governance. But even though it is a good practice for getting for the, how these leaders to getting of the global as well as the national levels, and for having of this opportunity of that system normally we are doing for very much essential for each and every individual faculty members for funding, getting projects, transparency, and accountability and best practices. A leader must to have to follow the all the excellence practical situations, and only for the social and economic transformation, it will be more useful for that all the stakeholders. For example, in the social equity, women empowerment, economic growth, global leadership. For example, social equity, education for all. So NEP 2020, what is insisted, education for all, including marginalized communities, will reduce inequality. So that is the most important social equity. That is important to test the point in NEP program, NEP 2020. Then women empowerment, another thing. So many Indian as well as many of them women, that is for higher education, for working places, entrepreneur and scientists, etc., etc. The higher participation of girls and women in education will improve the gender balance. Improve the gender balance. There is a NEP 2020 agenda. Then economic growth. The skilled graduates and entrepreneurs will fuel uh, institutional growth. So this is another important aspects of this the methodology or following for each and every aspects of the skill graduates and the entrepreneurs will feel industrial growth and for job creation. So another important economic, the global citizenships graduates not only for employable but also for socially responsible for contributing for global peace, ethics, and sustainability. So this is the another important things of this agenda for social and economic transformations. Then we have to looking for this India role for global knowledge power of 2040 really is good for this strong research culture for our university also, but many of the institutions for this ultimate the goal of NEP 2020 is to position India as a leader in knowledge creations, research, and innovation. In this aspect of this system, that innovation and invention they have to create for research, for funding from these various academics. Then by 2040, India aims to have several universities ranked among the world best, attracting international students and faculty. That's another important aspect of system of that NEP 2020. Then cultural preservation will ensure for India remains rooted this heritage while being this globally competitive and strong research culture without to be educated skilled population. There is another play major role for making decisions and all those things. So this is a major players of the system for adopting the empowering for that empowering the faculty, research teachers will experience for greater academic freedom for decision courses and experimentations, and always is motivated for the above faculty will contribute to higher quality learning outcomes. So this is the system of that NEP program. And another important is observed merit-based leadership. Merit-based leadership appointment will ensure that decision makers are competent and visionary. Competent and visionary. This is the, totally for insist of the NEP 2020. So thank this opportunity, Professor Muhammad Tik, Director, and that Anjit Thakur. Certainly for 1.5 hours, I will share my university experience. That science Baba Amravati University. I had, I had the opportunity to thank the director once again. Given my busy schedule, I'm going to admit the academic audit, the watching these documentations, and then I once again thank all the faculty members on the screen through this Zoom meet. That if possible, come to visit our university director, Muhammad Atik, that is infrastructure facilities for our university. Many of them best practices, many of them leadership and governance, we are admire and following all these aspects of the university. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your from your rich experience. You have delivered here the quality of the leadership and how the governance should be there in the higher education institute. We are really thankful to you, sir, because rather than the lecturing, your content was very enriching and it was inspire us. So we are really thankful to you for your precious time because you the person we need. We think we know that you are very much busy in the universities in the academic affairs as well as the administrative affairs. But rather than the commitment towards this academic excellence, you have provided your precious time and this thought-provoking and rich in content. So we are really thankful to you, sir. I once again extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Vethirajan, to Professor Vethirajan, sir. And with the kind consent of Professor Vethirajan, sir, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, participants. We will meet tomorrow.
Thank you.